TFA fam, what is up? What is happening? It is week 4. This season is just moving by. I mean, we are already, almost a quarter way through the season. So here we are. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I see a couple comments in here. One from True Taylor saying that he is 0-3. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's turn it around. Still very early. No reason to panic. No reason to freak out. So anyways,
not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do and freak out.
Just flip out, man.
All I want to know is who's coming with me.
So we're here to answer all of your questions, every one of them. So let's see. Who knows? I mean, the last, I think, 2 or 3 have been like 3-hour shows, and that's what we do because we're here to answer everybody's questions. So let's get going. AO, first one here. What's up? What up, AO? Scary Terry or Olave full PPR, Conor, Hall, or Gibby start one. So let's start with the first one. Scary Terry or Olave.
Man, this is closer than it should be. I am going to go Scary Terry, but it's very close for that first one. And for the second one, I'm going to go Conor for the running back.
I'm going to go Chris Olave, so we're going to be no help here. I have Chris Olave ranked 26th this week, and then I have McLaurin down at 28. So
down at 28. Literally 2 spots lower.
Yeah. Hey, 2 spots. So I'm going to go Olave, and then I'm going to go with, man, I kind of like Antonio Gibson because he's been kind of game scripted out. Like last week, he was game scripted out. But the thing that's scary with him is we've started to see, after the first big week, and I think, some of us talked about him being a sell high. He really kind of looks like that right now because the last couple of weeks he has
been saved by a touchdown.
Yeah, and I mean it's not even that. I mean he's now losing out on targets. He's running less routes. I mean he's still running around the same amount of carries, but I mean he played 62% of the snaps, 55% of the snaps, and then 45% of the snaps last week. And then routes is the same thing, 20, 15, and 10. And then targets 8, 4, and 1. So he's just losing a lot of that production. He's still getting there, but like you said, he's been touchdown dependent. I mean, if it wasn't for those to save his week, I mean, we're talking about really rough fantasy performance each for the last 2 games. But like I said, they've also in those last 2 games have really played from behind and had to play catch up. So I don't mind him as an option this week, just because I think with likely Cooper Rush still starting again this week, I don't think that offense is explosive enough to really put that game away. So I think he could see some more opportunities. And then you have James Conner, who, against Carolina. But I think I'm going to go with actually Antonio Gibson here. I have Antonio Gibson 1 spot higher than James Conner. And then Breece Hall, I don't have too far behind that either, and I have him at 25. So, but I'm going to go with Antonio Gibson on this one. And hope he didn't fail me.
I can cave and go Olave, so we can give some sort of help here to AO since we did not answer a single one the same. But the second one, I'm still going to stick with Conor. That's another team that also has been game scripted out of a lot of rushing attempts, and I don't see that happening against Carolina.
Yeah, Derek just updated his Abby with Jerry the King Lawler in the Abby. Traded Fournette and MT for Joe Mixon and Deontay Johnson. Thoughts on trade full PPR?
Fournette and MT for Mixon and DJ.
I think it's kind of a lateral move, honestly. Because I think the Bucks offense is going to get better. As bad. I mean, because they've been. I think they're like one of the only teams. I think them and the Broncos are the only team in the league that are only averaging 1 touchdown a game. I think is what the number was, which is
Yikes. Who would have
yeah,
thought Tom Brady and Russell Wilson?
yeah. So I do think that offense gets better, and I think that. So I don't think that's so. But I also think getting Joe Mixon and Deontay Johnson. I think this is kind of a lateral. So
Yeah. I think it's fair either way.
yeah. Other league, Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff.
Kirk.
Yeah, I agree. That's who I'm going to go with.
Just gonna ignore that.
Oh, TN, TN,
Just
you are the man every single time. I say it every time, but TN, you are the man for rocking with us. We really appreciate the super chat once again. What can I say?
just I know. I don't even know. He did this on Sunday too. I'm like, I don't even know what to say at this point.
Other than we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it. You've been rocking with us since the beginning. Tell the story every single time.
Did that on
That
Sunday.
he has been,
Did it on Sunday
he has been around since the beginning. When I mean the beginning, I think it was me and my mom were the first two subs, something like that, So TN, really appreciate you. Halfway PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex. Conor, Brees Hall, Michael Carter, Jeff Wilson, Deontay Johnson, George Kittle, Russell Gage.
So start with the running backs. I'm gonna go Connor and Wilson at running back. Then for the flex, I'm gonna go Deontay at flex. Nice matchup for the Steelers. Like you talked about on the wide receiver show that was dropped earlier, Deontay Johnson just has an absolutely fantastic target share. We thought that was going to go down. We thought his performance was going to be better with Big Ben out. That has not come to fruition just yet, but the targets are still there. The thing that's really been killing him is I think he has no touchdowns on the season. Other than that, everything else is there. The reason why I'm not going to go to one of the Jets running backs is last year we saw Zach Wilson did not want to target the running back position. We saw Michael Carter, literally every other Jets quarterback targeted Michael Carter at an insane rate. He was getting 9, 8, 7 targets per game when Zach Wilson wasn't in there. Now we have him returning. Now we have these running backs that are going to be splitting time. We didn't really have that last year. Ty Johnson would come in every once in a while, Tevin Coleman every once in a while. But by and large, it was Michael Carter's backfield. That's why I am not going there with one of those Jets running backs. I want to see it first. So it's pretty easy for me to go Connor and Wilson. And then, like I said, Deontay is the guy I'm flexing.
Just don't. T, if you're still rocking with this, you have George Kittle on the list. I'm just curious as to who you're starting at tight end. Do you have like Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce?
I mean, it has to be, or maybe there's no tight end requirement.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why. Okay, that can make sense too.
I have Kittle in a dynasty league without a tight end requirement. He's kind of like my last, like in rotation for my last.
Oh, he's got Goddard. He's got Goddard.
And I'm putting Goddard ahead of Kittle.
Yeah, man. George Kittle is just one of those dudes that when he goes off for 30, he goes off for 30, and you're like, son of a bitch. But I think you go Connor and Wilson. I think I kind of agree with that. Like it's tough because I do like Brees Hall a lot, but there's a real Zach Wilson returning is real. I mean, we saw it last year, like you mentioned. The target production is absolutely cratered without without what was it, Mike White last year. This year, it's been Joe Flacco has been peppering the running back. So I think you go that route, and then I think in flex, I think you do go Deontay Johnson. It's just like I don't know. It feels weird to sit George Kittle.
It does.
But this isn't a great matchup against the Rams defense. Dallas or Philadelphia against Jacksonville, So just matchup wise, it's a much better matchup. But I don't know. I think if you wanted to, if you're like looking straight ceiling, I think going Kittle over Deontay, I think makes some sense. I would say Russell Gage, but I think the Bucks. It sounds like some of their wide receivers are trending towards playing this week. Chris Godwin returned to practice today, which is a really good sign considering it's only Wednesday. I mean, usually we don't really care about injury reports until really Thursday, Friday. Like really Friday is the big one. But the fact that they're already back on Wednesday and Julio also returned, so we could be seeing all of these guys back. This is a big time game with the Chiefs. Well, we're still waiting to see if it's actually going to be played in Tampa or if they're going to have to move that game because of the hurricane.
They're going to have to move it.
I would think they would, but I would have thought they would have said something by now about it as well. So,
yeah.
So, anyways, I think right now, TN, I think you go Conor and Wilson. It just, I don't know. Wilson, I don't, but at the same time, when you look at Breece Hall, and Michael Carter, they're splitting touches. So yeah, I think you go Conor, Jeff Wilson, Deontay. But if you're wanting to go, shoot for the moon, I think George Kittle is somebody that you could plug in there.
I can get down with that.
And once again, you are the GOAT, TN.
Yeah. He also had another one too in a standard: Singletary, McLaurin, Duvernay, or Josh Palmer. I think I'm going to go McLaurin there. I mean, it seems like Keenan Allen could potentially be back.
Yeah, it sounds like he's probably going to return this week.
I mean, Duvernay probably has the most touchdowns out of that group, which is, I guess, concerning, surprising, all of those things. But he's also only getting like 3 or 4 targets per game. So like, I don't want to hitch my wagon there. So I think I'm going to go McLaurin out of that group in a standard, just because with Singletary, he's still splitting touches with Zach Moss and James Cook. Obviously, still have to worry about Josh Allen taking carries as well.
Yeah, and you have, right now, if you look, it was last week an outlier week because 2 weeks prior, he played 56 and 53% of the snaps, 8 carries and 6 carries, 2 targets and 4 targets. He didn't really do a whole lot. And then you go to the last week where he played 72% of the snaps. He still only had 9 carries, but he ran 32 routes. He ran almost more routes last week than he had in weeks 1 and 2 combined. He also saw 11 targets, 9 catches, 91 total yards, and a touchdown, which really kind of boosted him.
Yeah.
So as much as I would want to say Singletary, I think I'd probably go McLaurin here. Next up, we got Jose. Who should I trade for? Who should I trade? Ayuk and Jacobs or Holcomb? Or should I trade for Ayuk and Jacobs?
With Ayuk, he hasn't really had like that big game yet. Kind of seemed like he was headed toward that way last week, but didn't do much after he scored that. I think at all of his production he got in the first quarter, I believe, something like that. So you probably need to hold on to him until he has a bigger week or 2 in a row. And then with Jacobs, the best advice I can give is to just look at your league and see who needs running back help. Like there's somebody in your league who needs running back help. Look and try and find a match that way versus us just saying, trying to come up with some random names. Jacobs, trying to think of like some good buy lows at wide receiver. Maybe you could flip Jacobs if you want to try and take the chance on the long-term upside of someone like a Breece Hall. A wide receiver, you probably end up having to package Jacobs with somebody, but like, maybe somebody like a T. Higgins. I mean, it looks like you have Najee, Henry, Hill, Devonta, and Joku, and then on the bench, Jacobs, J. Rob, Sutton, Ayuk, Godwin, D. Hop. So
It's also an 8-person league.
I
So
was gonna
keep
say
that.
that makes it tougher. Any thoughts there?
I definitely think if you're going to do it, I would be looking for a running back because I think there's a lot of volatility in Najee and Derrick Henry, especially and then with J Rob is nice for sure, and then Jacobs obviously, but I think Jacobs isn't like you're probably never going to play him with the roster that you have, and so I think if you're looking to make a move, I maybe try to buy low on a potential running back that and maybe package those two, but it's going to be tough in an 8-man league, right? Because everybody has stacked rosters. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard to find somebody that like has a weak roster that like, okay, what can I, send these players to try to upgrade. So if you're going to do it, you're probably going to have to do it for like I don't know, like even though you're probably maybe on the surface losing the trade, but like a Brees Hall or something like that, if he can bounce, if he can really explode and take over that backfield, you could maybe look to maybe even like a Javonte Williams. You might be able to do that. It might take a different running back or a different player. You could possibly throw them in there as well, because with when you're in an 8-man league, everybody has really stacked rosters, and so
Yeah.
like a traditional 12-team league, it's a lot easier because then you can go to teams. Okay, what teams really needs a lot of help right now, especially teams that are like 0-3 and they're panicking. And I think then it's a lot easier to kind of steal players away from people in that way. It's a lot harder whenever you're in that position where you're in an 8-man league and just everybody's teams are stacked.
Yeah.
And as far as your question on start sit, I think with Najee, Henry, you're starting those over. Even though I love James Robinson this week, I'm really high on him. You're not starting him over Najee
Yeah.
or Derrick Henry. And then your wide receiver is Hill,
Probably
Devonta.
want to put Sutton in over Devonta.
Yes. I'm starting, Cortland Sutton over Devonta Smith. I know he's had a really monster week the last couple of weeks.
And
But
no flex spot here.
yeah, if you did have a flex, who would you put in there? I would go James Robinson.
Probably, but I do like. I think Devonta has the higher upside. Like James Robinson, and I know this is not something we necessarily want to do, but if you take away his 50-yard rush last week, he had like 16 for 50. Like wouldn't have been like that great. And I think you can say the same thing about like the week before too. Like he's really getting bailed out by some of these longer runs. So I think if there is a flex spot, I think I'm going to put Devonta in over uh, J Rob. I think. I
The
guess the
only
Eagles are
The only other
kind of
thing I would
middle of the
say
pack.
too, what would you think about now? Just looking at this team really quickly, and we probably need to get moving here. We're getting
Yeah.
stacked, but the only thing I would say is, well, how would you feel about maybe taking Devonta Smith and really maximizing the monster 2 weeks he's had the last 2 weeks, where I think his value is extremely high, and trying to maybe do him and Jacobs, and even go up a little bit higher, where I think you could probably even attack and go and get like a.
Or him and J Rob.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd want to trade 2 running backs because I
No,
think
no,
you could.
Devonta and J Rob.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. You could do that, and I think you could even probably go all the way up and maybe try to get like a Dalvin Cook, something like that. Like I think that could possibly get it done because of how well those two players have played, and whoever has Dalvin Cook is not going to be very happy with the production that they've had.
Correct.
So I think that might be a smarter move where you could really go up and really grab somebody
Yeah.
there. So in an 8-man league, I mean, there's going to be players through waivers you can add to and stuff like that. So,
Yep.
anyways, we got a couple super chats. Set those up really quickly. We got flex Gabe Davis or Devonta Smith. I'm gonna go Gabe Davis here.
Davis for me, but I do like Smitty.
Yeah, and then running back 2,
God.
Brees Hall or Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going Brees Hall.
Yeah, Brees Hall here for me, especially with I don't know why they're trying to say that Mac Jones could potentially play, with that severe high ankle sprain. Sounds like it's going to be Hoyer. Although, in a PPR league, I think Stevenson could be interesting, assuming Pats are going to be playing from behind, dump off some Hoyer. I'm going to go Stevenson there. I'm going to go Stevenson.
So we are as of no help in that department for FBA. So wish we could, but I just like I think we're starting to see a trend here a little bit with Brees Hall is going to start continuing to kind of creep up and take more and more opportunities away from this backfield, and I think this is a game, like I said, where I feel like it's going to be a little bit more closer, and they're going to be able to where the last couple of weeks they've kind of been playing from behind. So I like Brees Hall, and I think he's actually a tremendous spy low, honestly, before he does go off. Roderick Hughes. Let's see. PPR, Herbert, Eckler, Pierce, Pitman, Juju, Kelsey, Dotson, Njoku at the flex, bench, McKissick, Penny, Burks, Mooney. Should I trade Eckler, Pittman, and Burks for Najee, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Ayuk, and
Jalen Warren? Eckler, Pittman, Burks, Najee, Amon-Ra.
I'm going to say no.
No. I prefer Eckler over Najee, Pittman over Amon-Ra. And then, obviously, prefer Ayuk over Burks, but I'm gonna stick. I know Eckler's been disappointing. Pittman obviously hasn't had the blow up games like Amon-Ra has had, but I'm gonna stick with Eckler and Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this too with Eckler that we've had, like the last 2 weeks, they won. Last week they got absolutely roasted by the Jaguars, and the week before that against the Chiefs, that game was a little bit weird. And so I don't know. I think there's much better days ahead for Austin Eckler, and so I don't want to trade for Najee Harris. It's just the foot injury, the offense. Like there's so many things that I don't want any part of Najee Harris. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I also think it's kind of a lateral move from Michael Pittman to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like you're not really winning anything there. I think they're both studs. And then, yes, you're getting Brandon Ayuk, who I think is an upgrade over Treylon Burks. But we could be saying something different, here in a month from now, because I think Treylon Burks is really probably the best wide receiver for the Titans, where Ayuk is always going to be fighting with George Kittle and Deebo Samuel in an offense that, wants to run the ball, but obviously the Titans do too, and then Warren doesn't really matter to
me. Yeah.
So I would hold. I would not make that move. I just don't think it makes any sense.
Appreciate you guys hitting us with the super chats. Really, truly appreciated. If you don't have the ability to hit us with a super chat, if you're new to the channel, please hit us with a sub and a like instead. We appreciate all you guys for real. Truth, Kev, you kicked off the show with this. Truth Teller sitting at 0-3. Is it time to drop Russ? He's killing me. I can go get Derek Carr, Trevor, Goff, Winston.
No.
I mean, I don't mind moving on from Russ, but not for these names. I mean, Derek Carr going up against the Broncos, not a fantastic spot. That Raiders offense has been up and down. Like Trevor has been like playing well, but not taking a lot of shots downfield. Like a lot of his like stats look good, but like I said, not a lot of deep shots. Like if teams start to like sit a little bit more, kind of like stack the box, so to speak. Some of that might start to get taken away, and then I'm still rocking with Russ over Goff and Winston as well.
Yeah, it's just too early. I remember a few years ago that I think it was Tom Brady started off the season really slow, and like people were starting to drop him, and then he just went absolutely nuclear over the second half. Like this feels like one of those situations with Russ that I know he's not providing the upside that you're looking for. If you have deep benches, and let's say you have 6-7 bench players, I don't mind for a week. If you don't love a matchup for your quarterback, picking somebody up, and with Russell Wilson's kind of volatile right now, but I'm not dropping Russell Wilson because I could see it. Even as early as this week. I mean, this is a good matchup because the Raiders defense is nothing to be scared of, but even past that, like in a couple weeks from now, they once this offense really starts to get rolling, you'd feel really dumb that you dropped them, and then now you're stuck with Jared Goff or somebody like that.
Yeah. Aquaman, CEH or Miles Sanders in a half PPR.
Miles Sanders and Aqua trade CEH, in my mind. He is like the ultimate sell high. Like he hasn't like went off or anything like that, but he's been really solid over the past 3 weeks of the season. But there's not a lot to like about his profile. He scored double-digit fantasy points. I mean, he's been almost an RB1 in almost every week. He was RB14 last week. But he's played 35%, 41%, and 45%. He hasn't had over 8 carries in a game this year. And he's not even being targeted. I mean, he's 3, 4, and 5 targets. All of his production has come from touchdowns. So, like, he is the ultimate sell high. Like, I am trying to sell Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Rieger, RP. Why in fantasy am I starting P. Ryan, Chase Higgins, Bengals defense, and McPherson in my money league this week? I'm also curious why you're starting Samaje P. Ryan. So let us know if there's anyone else on waivers. Joe Mixon is going to be good to go this week, so we're not worried about that ankle injury, unless this is just a deeper league. But then for you to end up with Chase and Higgins in a deeper league, not entirely sure about that. But let us know your other options at running back, and then let me know what's available on waivers for defense as well. Did a defense video earlier this week, so I mean I don't think the Bengals are awful start if there's not a better defense out there, but let us know the story behind this that lineup there, RP. Other league for Truth start 2, we have Damien Pierce, Conor, CPAT, Aaron Jones, and Herbert if Montgomery is out.
Monty's out. We're starting Herbert. I'm starting Herbert, and then I'm going to start Aaron Jones. If Herbert plays, I'm going to start Aaron Jones and Cordell Patterson.
No love for your boy Damien Pierce?
It's very close for Damien Pierce. But hold on, let me look at my rankings. I think. Oh no, never mind. I'm gonna go Aaron Jones and Damien Pierce. I do have. I thought I had Cordell Patterson ahead of him, but I don't. I have Cordell Patterson at 19, and I have Damien Pierce at 17.
That's where I would go as well. T. Trilla, London, Hollywood, Smitty, Olave, pick 1. Ooh.
I'm gonna go Drake London.
Yeah. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong with Jamal Williams chalk week? Like I can't.
Craig Reynolds could go wrong. All of a sudden, Craig Reynolds comes in and gets 15, 16 carries.
Kerryon Johnson comes back from the dead, signs with Detroit, is actually productive. Crip, hey fellas, what's up? What's up with you? Our night as well, Crip. How was your night? Let us know. Anyways, Need 2 in a full PPR. CPAT, MT if he plays Devonta Smith, Deontay, or Garrett Wilson. Scared of the matchup between Deontay and Sauce Gardner. We need to. If MT plays, I'm going to go Michael Thomas. And I'm going to go MT and Devonta here.
I'm going to go with Deontay and Devonta Smith.
You like Deontay over MT?
I do.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind Deontay this week either, but I think MT has an easier matchup. At least he's been finding the end zone a little bit. Deontay's been getting the targets, hasn't turned into a ton just yet. And I think the Steelers. I don't know that Sauce Gardner is going to be shadowing. I mean, maybe he does. I'm assuming he doesn't. But the Steelers are going to move Deontay around enough, with motion and just putting him on different places in the formation to get him away from Sauce Gardner. But Sauce Gardner looks good to start his start.
Oh, he definitely does. But people tend to overvalue shadowing because it very rarely happens in the NFL. The same with like bracket coverage. Like you hear that a lot. Like, oh, he's just going to get bracket coverage the entire game. That it very rarely happens. There might be times in a game it'll happen, but no team is just going to sit there and double team a wide receiver the entire game. I don't care how elite a wide receiver is. It doesn't happen as much as people think that it does. So it's not really as big of a concern as I think some people make it out to be.
Pick one in the flex PPR here for RP, ETN, Godwin, Pierce, Garrett Wilson, Damien Harris.
If he plays, I'm going to go Chris Godwin.
Me too. If he does not,
I'll go Damien Pierce.
Samesies. Last fish holding it down for us over there on Twitch. Survivor League, Green Bay, Dallas, Detroit. Thought, should I save Green Bay for later?
You know what to say. I mean, you have to win the game that's in front of you, right? I mean, I don't know. Because I don't think those other ones are like slam dunks by any means. Like Dallas certainly isn't, and Detroit, I don't think they are either. So
I mean, the Packers coming up after the Pats. They have the Giants, Jets, and Washington before they hit Buffalo.
So, I think if I'm not going Green Bay, I would go Detroit.
Man. So Detroit, 4-point favorites. Dallas, 3-point favorites. That line dropped 3 points, opened up at minus. Really? Open up at -6. Oh, never mind. That's in Dallas's favor. My fault. Yeah, I think I like Dallas over Detroit, especially with Detroit being banged up. Swift gonna be out. I mean, I still think Detroit wins, but I think that could be that could be closer just with Swift being out. Hawkinson hasn't been doing much. Amon-Ra should play, but he's also going to be playing through an ankle injury. I think we saw DJ Chark was also on the injury report. So I like Dallas over Detroit. But yeah, like you said, you also got to keep winning the games as well. So think I would. Man,
I would go Dalvin and Camara here.
if Cook doesn't play,
Jamal Williams.
KD picked up Pitt as a weekly streamer. Thoughts on them against Jets and Wilson's first week back?
I think they're viable. I mean, I think they're like
Yeah.
maybe a top 12, back end top 12 defense this week, somewhere around there.
Gravy. TN is an absolute legend. You are correct. Emilio, full PPR need a flex. Jamal Williams, Olave, Cooks, DJ Moore, or Breece Hall.
This is Jamal Williams.
Yeah, even though Jamal Williams chalk week scares the shit out of me, that's the play. And then a tight end, Hawkinson or Patty Fry.
I'm gonna go with TJ Hawkinson.
I'm gonna go Patty. I feel like he's been seeing more targets. Hawkinson has not been doing much. The Gurus podcast, ready for a great week, even though I took my first loss by 0.8. Yikes.
Yeah, because I think McManus he missed a field goal, did he?
I can't remember.
That was such a brutally bad game.
Yeah, I wasn't paying too close attention to that game.
Oh, I was, because I played NFL Showdown. I play every Showdown, I
was gonna
Island game. So, and I don't have it in me to play like all these defenses and kickers and all that stuff and Showdown. Like, I'll just go down with the ship of it's going to be more of a shootout that people expect, and then if it doesn't work out, I fail because I just can't.
How did that work out for you last week?
Not good. Not good, actually.
CB, hey guys, I have Pierce, Swift, Dobbins, questionable, need 2 in a PPR. Zeke Holland Hunt. Not CB. Can you re-ask this question if you're still rocking with us? I don't know if we're looking at two different lineups here or what it is, but if you can.
Or is he saying he's starting Pierce, Swift, and Dobbins? But how would you need 2? Unless maybe you have 2, but maybe you have 2 flex. I don't know. That seems. I don't know. That is a weird question.
Yeah, CB, let us know if you're still rocking with us. Dallas Goedert or Kyle Pitts this week for truth?
I'm going Kyle Pitts.
I'll go Pitts as well, but it's closer than it should be. DC, should I consider trading Clyde for AJ Dillon in non-PPR?
You can, but I think you can get more.
JJH, trade Camara and DJ Moore for Clyde and Amari Cooper. My other RBs are CMC, Sanders, Dobbins, Wilson. Wide receivers, Terry, Kirk, Lazard, and Romeo. We're out there. Romeo.
We're not doing that. We're not trading Camara and DJ Moore.
I don't mind getting out of DJ Moore, though. I am...
Right, but I don't think I would trade Camara for CJ and Amari Cooper.
Right.
Just alone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like DJ Moore is not really as big of a factor for me. But I'm not. I just don't like we already just talked about with CH. Like, it's a little smoke and mirrors with him, and so the fact that he's not even playing 50% of the snaps is concerning. We're seeing Jerick McKinnon actually be on the field more than he is. So
yeah.
That's why I said he's like the ultimate sell high, which is what he's trying to do to you.
Travis worried about Trent Williams and Kittle. Yeah, I mean, obviously we know that they have Kittle block a ton, and with Trent Williams being out, I don't know if they necessarily stick Kittle on that side the entire time to help him out with Trent Williams going down, but definitely not a bad thing to point out. Aquaman, have you ever had the Florida Man from Highlight? Another solid one. This is probably like my favorite, just like general IPA. Like Katie knows if she goes to the grocery store, and I just say, I don't know, just get me a beer. This is always a safe call. Good eye, Aqua. ETN for Michael Carter.
No.
Wait, which side do you want?
I mean, if you're getting ETN, I mean, if someone's trading you ETN, I would do that. But this way it reads, I would assume you're trading ETN for Michael Carter.
Okay, so you want ETN?
Yes.
Okay. Jimmy G or T-Law this week?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence for me as well. CKK, need a flex. I have Henderson starting right now. Benches Anderson, Dodson, Dobbs, Dortch, and Julio.
We were sitting Darrell Henderson.
Who are you starting?
Romeo Dobbs.
No concern with Green Bay maybe not having to throw a ton?
No, I just don't think there's a whole lot else to throw to, So, like, I think the opportunities are going to be there. And, like, the other options, like, I like Greg Dortch, somebody that, especially in PPR formats, but I don't know. I just prefer Greg Dobbs. What's the Romeo Dobbs. It's Greg Dortch.
I think.
Isn't it weird too that Greg Dortch is a thing? Like, that's why you love fantasy football. Like 3 weeks ago, if someone would have said, add Greg Dortch, people are like, what? Why would we do that? And now,
Hey man, I said it. I said it week. I didn't say to add him. So I'm not gonna try and jump on this. But week 1 of the Sunday show, you were not around. Something came up about the Arizona offense. I was like, maybe Greg Dortch worth a look. He actually played pretty well in the preseason.
we talked about him on the DFS DJ Nation show week 1 before before the season, as he was a really good play in DFS, so came through. But just funny how fantasy football works, and I'm sure like 4 weeks from now he'll be irrelevant. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just funny, these little moments in time.
He'll be one of those name drops we bring up in a year or two. Hamby, would you trade Terry away for Gibson? RBs are Saquon, Penny, Walker, Madison. Wide receivers are Chase, Olave, Bateman, Terry, Ayuk, Williams, and Pickens. So you certainly have the wide receiver depth to do it. I just don't know that I'm doing it for Gibson because we also have Brian Robinson nearing a return.
Yes. I would not do it. I think you can certainly trade him. And again, this is kind of where I was talking about with like looking at getting guys like Brees Hall, I think is a great buy low right now. So, again, somebody like that, I think it makes a lot of sense.
What about Sanders? I feel like you can but I feel like with the week that Terry had, the week that Sanders had, like people just always kind of down on Sanders, always kind of shitting on him. I think you might be able to get a little bit more. Like maybe you hit up. I mean, I obviously don't know what the Cook owner looks like, but maybe you can go to the Dalvin owner, try and package Terry and Madison together. Try and do something like that. See what else they have at running back. Maybe try and do something like that. Or if you're trading Terry for Sanders, see if there's like a small piece that you can maybe get thrown back on top. Anton, should I accept Russ and Michael Carter to get Tua?
No.
Yeah. Alex, this guy wants Dallas Goedert and McKenzie. He will give me T. Higgins, my other wide receiver, Devonta Smith, and Debo. Tight end is Njoku.
Yes. I would already have hit accept.
Yep.
Very easy trade.
Real Dirty Dan. Should I trade Mike Williams and Stevenson for Mike Evans and Jamal Williams? Just traded for Monty last week, and of course he gets hurt in the first quarter. I feel you, Dirty Dan. I made a trade in Dynasty to go out and get Tyreek Hill. I was looking at that game last week, just being like, hell yeah, Tyreek Hill, here we come, baby. Gives me 3 points. Never fails. So Williams and Stevenson for Evans and Jamal Williams. I think Stevenson could be the guy that you want long term. I mean, Jamal Williams has standalone value. So does Stevenson, but it's so up and down with that Patriots backfield. I mean, both of them scored last week, but then we have games where, Damien Harris is getting 65, 70% of the touches, and Stevenson's not seeing much. And I don't mind going from Williams to Evans, but I think if you're in need for running back help, I think I'm going to keep Stevenson because I think he could have the most upside long term. And it seems like Montgomery may only miss like a week or two. This doesn't seem to be something long term for David Montgomery. And we only have to go back to last year when we thought we were losing David Montgomery for the entire year, and he ended up being fine. Jose. Okay, that was going back to Jose's 8-man team. He said he had Javonta as a flex. Our ma'am Tam. Hello, gentlemen. Best flex. Pick one in a full PPR. Herbert, Emmons, Dortch, or Sutton. Starters are Eckler, Chubb, AJ Brown, and Pitman.
Oh. At first, I was like, "Oh, it's Khalil Herbert," and then I was reading through
Sutton
before he said it, I saw Sutton. I'm like,
tucked in at the end.
Yeah, you got to go Cortland Sutton. I'm gonna go Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. Ethan, would you start last flex spot? Mike Williams, Mike Evans, and Sutton.
Damn, Ethan. Those
In
some
a
strong
flex
wide
spot?
receivers. If that's your flex,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Cortland Sutton. I have Cortland Sutton barely ahead of Mike Evans. I have Cortland Sutton at 10, Mike Evans at 11, and then I have Mike Will at 14.
If Godwin doesn't play, does that affect your answer?
No, not really.
Okay. I have Evans just ahead of Sutton, so I'm fine with either. I mean, I can get there with Sutton for sure. Just to give an answer there. Cannon King start Keenan Allen or Fournette at flex.
I'm gonna go Fournette here.
Yeah. I'll go Fournette as well. Clamp, should I accept this trade? Getting Aaron Jones for Kareem Hunt and Gabe Davis. Current receivers are Chase, Waddle, and Pittman. Woo! That's nice. Clamped, if you're still rocking with us, let us know who your other running backs are. I don't mind this, but I would like to know who you have at running back. Emmanuel, let's go. Always love seeing Emmanuel in here with us. Need one flex and a 12-team half PPR. Bateman, Edmonds, Stevenson, Singletary, wide receivers with Diggs and AJ Brown. RBs are Fournette and Conor. I'm going to go Bateman.
Yeah. Need one flex. Yeah. I'm going to go Rashad Bateman too. I mean, this game could be absolutely ridiculous.
So we're putting in Sutton over Devonta, we're not. I'm assuming we're not putting in Smitty over Javonte, correct?
No.
Okay. The random half. Who should I drop? Need a kicker. Somehow Dobbs dropped to 10th waiver. Pierce, Ayuk, Judy, Elijah Moore, MG3. Definitely not Madison, Herbert, or Williams, or Pollard. Amon is my wide receiver 1.
So this is what I would say. Does it look like you're going to win this week? Does it look like you're going to get blown out this week? Because I would almost say don't add a kicker. But, or who do you have a kicker now? Why can't you drop the kicker you have now? Do you have Harrison Butker?
Or maybe they drop the kicker to pick up Romeo. I don't know.
Either way, I don't want to drop any of those players. Like, dude, I have seen. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I have seen multiple people that have ran a league and have left their kicker spot empty all year, and still made the playoffs, and never added a kicker all year. And I mean, I'm not saying to necessarily, but like, you don't have anybody that I want to drop. Like, I'm not dropping Damien Pierce. I'm not dropping Brandon Ayuk or Jerry Judy or Elijah Moore or even Melvin Gordon. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then the other guys you have, I don't.
If Cook ends up playing this week, would you drop Madison then?
I mean, you could, but like, I don't know. This is a non PPR too.
Yeah. Just trying to talk through it. I agree with you. I mean, I think if I'm dropping any random half, here's the answer. Make a trade. Package 2 of these, someone's going to need running back help. Seems like you're hoarding all of these handcuffs, which is smart, especially for when times like this hit. And it seems like you hit the running back jackpot here. Package up, some of these guys. See if you can make a move that way. There's definitely going to be somebody that needs some running back help. You have Pierce. You have some of these other handcuffs. Try, go to the person who has some of these running backs ahead of them and see if you can make a trade, package someone to open up a space that way. That way you don't technically have to drop one of these guys and you can get an upgrade somewhere else. That's the way that I would try and do that. Cade, do you think Barkley is number 1 running back rest of the year? I don't know about the RB1 the rest of the year, but he sure as hell looks like the Saquon Barkley that we all have come to know and love. Like, he looks explosive. He looks like he has, that swag. Looks like he has his swag back. Moving really well. So yeah, he's certainly a RB1 for the rest of the year. But we've also had some disappointing.
I think he's very much in the conversation as the RB1.
Yeah,
like, he's very much in that conversation. Is he going to finish there? I mean, I don't know, but he's definitely in the conversation to be, which is exactly what we talked about heading into the year. Why we told everybody to buy Saquon Barkley, to be on Saquon Barkley, because one, you were getting him at such a discount compared to what you're like next year. If he continues at this pace, he's going to be a top 3 running back next year. Off the board once again. But this year, it may, and so, but I think right now, I mean, I think there's a real case to be made that yeah, I think he's at least bare minimum. I think he's top 3.
Yeah.
But the running back position has been absolutely a dumpster fire this year. I mean, it has been a
literal
dumpster fire so far to start the year. Like, all these running backs people drafted in like the first, round or two.
Eckler, Cook, JT,
Mixon.
Najee. Mixon's had one good game. Aaron Jones hasn't been good. Fournette's been okay.
Yeah, it's been a really, really bad.
Camara.
I mean, Nick Chubb has been really good, and Saquon. I mean, I guess James Robinson. That's
and
why James Robinson.
James Robinson.
James Robinson. James Robinson's is the RB3 overall.
The outlier of all outliers. Brands the Red Devil. I'm in a dynasty 1 and 2 team to score the 5th most points. Do I trade Kelsey, Camara, and Harris for Pitts and Barkley? I mean, man, this one's tough. Because on one hand, I love getting the 10 years back, going from Kelsey to Pitts. Camara, I think, bounces back. Damien Harris, I'm not worried about. But then we look at someone like Saquon Barkley, who obviously he's younger than Camara, but like none of these running backs really inspire me. I guess it all depends on like what do you think like your team is going to be contending? Because sometimes like points can be helpful. Has it just been bad luck? The reason why that you're sitting at 1 and 2. Are you going to try and make a push? Because if you're making a push, I prefer to keep Kelsey. Kelsey's going to be a guy that you're going to be able to count on for the rest of the year. If you just want to get younger, obviously Pitts is the move. You definitely want to take that side. I think I would take Pitts and Barkley, but like I said, I think if you're trying to make a push this year, I still think I prefer Kelsey. But in a dynasty, what you're potentially losing this year, points wise between Kelsey and Pitts, you're obviously going to be making up for that 5-6 years from now, assuming that you don't move him. But Barkley, I don't look at as a long-term play. So maybe you can take Pitts and Barkley if Barkley keeps performing this way. If you're still losing, then you can obviously flip Barkley to a contender and then get some youth that way. Really, really interesting trade. Speaking of trade, Pierce for Amari Cooper.
I'm going to say no. I think it's close. Amari Cooper has actually played very well. He's obviously the wide receiver 1 there on that roster. But also without really seeing the rest of your team and saying, like, do you need wide receiver? So I think it's a little bit more lateral because I think Damien Pierce is going to continue to run as the team operate as a team's wide receiver, the team's RB1 on the Texans. The problem is the Texans, and so that doesn't inspire a ton of confidence on a week-to-week basis. But because Amari Cooper right now, has a 30% target share in that offense. He's 17.6 fantasy points per game right now. He's played very well.
And then you have Watson.
They're looming, yeah. That'll be back by week 11 or 12. So I think you can make the trade especially if you really need wide receiver help. But if you're like thin at running back, I don't think I would do it.
Green Bay or Dallas defense?
Green Bay.
Yeah. Do I start Conor, Wilson, or Kittle in my flex in a PPR? I'm going to go Conor.
Yeah, I'm going to go James Conner.
Rylan, rest of the season, James Robinson or Breece Hall?
Oh, man.
Kev, pick your favorite child.
I'm going to go James Robinson. I just don't think he's going away. I know there's people in the Twitter streets that want him to go away and that want him to not be thinking. And like I've said, I was all about Travis Etienne this offseason, but it's starting to feel more like that he is going to be kind of the lead back, and maybe Travis Etienne ends up being more of like the Kareem Hunt, where James Robinson's the Nick Chubb, if you like the best example I can come up with. Or maybe this is like a Aaron Jones, James Robinson, AJ Dillon, or something in that range of that kind of. situation where Brees Hall, I think, could end up being the better play by the end of the year, but I don't know. It's just a really tough call. I just slightly lean towards James Robinson.
2 RBs and 1 flex here for the random half. JT, Pierce, Chubb, Madison, Herbert, Jamal, Dobbs, and Judy.
All right, well, we can already lock in JT.
Chubb.
And Chubb, for sure. And then the flex, I'm going to go with Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
But it's very close.
Cannon King, start Keenan Allen or Christian Kirk?
Keenan Allen. Assuming he plays.
Cody Armois. Do you think Cooks and Harris for Chubb is acceptable, or should I dish out more?
Brandon Cooks?
I mean, Cooks, I'm assuming.
Then yeah, it's enough. Yes. I would go with the Chubb side.
I don't know if I have Chubb that I'm accepting that.
Oh, no, I wouldn't either.
I mean, I think it's an okay starting
it's
point.
acceptable, or should I dish out more?
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to have to dish out more.
Okay.
Especially with Nick Chubb being like the RB3 right now, or something like that. He's either RB2 or RB3 overall right now. Like, you're going to have to give up more. And Brandon Cooks hasn't done anything. Like, Cody, like, this feels like I'm trading 2 guys that have done nothing for me, and I'm going to try to see if I can go get Nick Chubb. Like, this isn't the move you want to try to make. Like, if this is now, maybe, who knows? You know, your league better than we do, and maybe this could be a possibility. But
Maybe
I would have hit if somebody like offered me that, I would have hit, like, it would have been one of those, like, I immediately just look at it, don't even think about it, and say reject.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I mean, I don't think it's one of those like trade offers that like you look at and just like, I'm never trading with this asshole again. How?
it's not like a
So I think
disrespectful trade or something like that, but it's not in the realm of possibility of someone that probably would do that.
The 04 Pistons, is this Rashid? Is this Rashid year with the 04 Pistons? Anyway, Cooks or Curtis Samuel?
I'm gonna go Brandon.
I'm going Curtis Samuel. I'm going Curtis Samuel.
You don't have to pull my arm to go Curtis Samuel over Brandon Cooks.
I wish Walito were here to say it. Richard, trade my Goff and Pitman for his Russ and Jamal Williams. I have Sutton and Swift. How'd I do? So we already made this trade. I mean, you gave away the best player, in my opinion, with trading away Pitman.
You got had. I mean, Goff to Russ, whatever. Like, yes, you're making an upgrade. Theoretically, you should be making an upgrade from Goff to Russ, but Jamal Williams, you know, losing Michael Pittman, who in my eyes is a top 5-6 wide receiver, isn't it? You know.
I mean, I get with having Sutton and Swift. You like pairing, Russ with Sutton. You like having Jamal Williams with Swift, but at the end of the day, you're still losing the best player. And when Swift comes back, you're never going to start both. Like, you're not going to start Swift and Jamal Williams, and then you're also not going to really be able to trade Jamal Williams away. So you're just going to kind of be sitting there and like burning a roster spot for you. I do think Jamal Williams has some standalone value, but I don't think you're going to be starting him on the same team. Cannon King, no, we do not only answer super chats, but super chats get priority. So we always try and jump and answer those first. We are running, as we always do, a half hour behind. Kev, this one is for you. Thoughts on Goff or Geno Smith as a flyer in DFS this week?
I mean, I don't mind it, with like Jared Goff, he's 5,900 on. I'm assuming we're talking about DraftKings. I don't know which one you're talking about. If you're talking about FanDuel, but on DraftKings, he's 5,900. And surprisingly enough, I mean, Geno Smith isn't as cheap as you. I mean, he's 5,400, but like I would have felt like he'd be like a 5K quarterback. But he's not. This week, I just don't think. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough upside there. And like, if I was going to, like, I would probably rather go Derek Carr, who's 5,800, who's cheaper than Jared Goff. So I don't know. Like, I think it's a little bit thin, but I also haven't dove fully into the slate yet, which we'll
We
be doing
better
tomorrow. Fantasy Z Sleepers on
keep
the DFS live show.
keep that DraftKings up because Champ here is looking for this week's 4,500 or lower wide receiver or RB on the main slate. Wish I could help out here, but alas, I cannot. I wish, and I'll just do this to give you some time to look at this, but I wish my brain functioned for tournament lineups. I just can't. I can't do it. Like I always get waxed in tournaments. Like I anytime I feel good about my lineup, like okay, I like what I put together here. Not even sniffing the money. Not even close. Like my brain just does not work that way. Like cash games, cool. Like I'm never gonna fucking spike like a 1K week, anything like that. But at the end of the year, I'll always be ahead. Like I say, cash games I do I do fine with, but like tournaments, man, like my brain just can't get there. So what do you got?
I think what I would tell you is that just play like 3-entry maxes or single entries. So you can play your cash
Yeah,
pipeline.
I've tried that. Just get fucking smoked.
Oh, well, I don't. I think right now the best like option at that's sub $4,500. One would be Kadarius Toney if he plays this week for the Giants, especially with Sterling Shepard going down and Kenny Galladay looking like absolute trash. And then the other one, I think, or a couple other ones would probably be like a Zay Jones at 4,200 on DraftKings. He makes a lot of sense. And then Romeo Dobbs barely cuts off that list at $4,500. Again, love Romeo Dobbs this week, and he's only 4,500. And so right now, that's probably where I'd be leaning. Again, same thing. Tune in tomorrow night with me and Maddie and maybe Debro. I don't know if Debro will be on, but I know me and Maddie will be on, and we'll be breaking down the slate a lot more in depth.
And I'd assume at running back there's not a ton.
There's nothing.
There, right?
There's really nothing that I'd really want to go to at running back.
04, no, your running backs are fine. They've just been underperforming. And unfortunately, because they've been underperforming, you're not really going to be able to get out from under them. So just hold steady. Having Javonta Swift and Aaron Jones, that's a really good trio to have at RB. Should I pull the trigger on CEH and Kirk for London and Damien Harris? Have Najee at RB1, Gabe at wide receiver. No, you have Pitman at wide receiver 1, CKK, and Gabe Davis at wide receiver 2. But Kev, CEH and Kirk for London and Damien Harris.
I'm going to say no. I love Drake London, but I don't really care for Damien Harris.
Me either. Murdoch, good evening to you. How do we feel about Javonte and Brandon Cooks for Saquon?
Yeah, I like that.
I would do that as well. Anyone feel good about Mr. Hasn't Been Cook and Wilson against the Raiders?
I'm hoping that little last drive they had in that game against the 49ers maybe gets this offense going, because they shouldn't be this bad.
Russ or Cousins?
It's Russ.
I'm gonna go Cousins over Russ. Crip, great to hear. Another question. Don't be sorry. In the flex, full PPR, Amon-Ra's up in the air. Seems like he's going to be okay to go. So I'm not worried about Amon-Ra this week. If he sits, do I start Herbert, Samuel, Juju, or Pierce? If he sits and Monty sits, I'm going Herbert. If he sits and Monty plays, I would go Pierce.
Yeah, I do not anticipate Amon-Ra St. Brown sitting at all.
Ken, my wide receivers are Allen, Waddle, AJ Brown. Would you trade any while stock is high? My backs are Patterson, Taylor, and Robinson. No, I think you're okay with Taylor and Robinson as your running backs and running out those trio of wide receivers.
I think if I was going to trade anybody, it might be Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen two. I think week 1. I think he was solid. If I'm remembering correctly, week 2 was absolute dog dookie, and then week 3 he rumbled for 120. I think it's the most rushing yards he's ever had in his career. I like that call. Good call, Kev. Would you drop Burks and pick up Dobbs?
No. I mean, it's close, but I like both of them. Like, can we add both of them? Can you have both of them on your team? Because I would like to keep Burks.
Eagles D or Colts D? I'm going to go Colts. The thing with the Eagles is literally half of their fantasy points came last week when they got 9 sacks on Carson Wentz. Going into last week, they had 3. They have 12 on the year. They literally had 9 last week. So I like the Colts defense, especially if Shaq Leonard comes back. He's been practicing in full each of the last 2 weeks. Every practice he's practicing full. He just has not been active yet. So I'm going to rock with the Colts there. Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson. We just answered that one. We're split on that one, Connie. Sorry we could not help you out. Two running backs only have Hall. Okay. Same lineup. 2 running backs, Hall, Hunt, Zeke on the bench. And I think we had, let me go up. I know Dobbins was one of the questionable ones. And this one is up there. Kev, do you just want to go? Do you have where we're at right now?
Yeah, I have where we're at.
Okay, do you want to go to the next one while I find CB's lineup?
Yeah. Rip, should I trade Schultz for Jeff Wilson? Higbee is my other tight end, and I have Elijah. Yeah, I think you can do that.
Oh, wait. That was just a son of a bitch. That was just the one we were on. I literally thought I found it.
808. Who should I flex? Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel, or Garrett Wilson? I'm going to go Michael Thomas here.
Michael Thomas.
Brian Martinez, start 3, half PPR. Gibson, Hall, Brandon Cooks, Bateman, Godwin, ETN. So I'm going to start with Godwin as long as he plays. And then I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman and Antonio Gibson.
I'm going to roll out the receivers. And then if Godwin does not play, I'll go Gibson. Okay, I got it. Pierce, Swift, Dobbins. Zeke, Hall, and Hunt is on his bench.
Well, then if like I assume then if,
I'm assuming Swift is out.
Yes.
Right?
So then I would go Zeke.
Are you Are you starting Hall over Dobbins?
Yes.
So Pierce, Zeke, and Hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rico, my receivers, Debo, St. Brown, AJ, and Hopkins. Oh, I think that's in the numbers. Was there a question that he had? Oh, drop Burks and pick up Dobbs.
Yeah, you're obviously not dropping any of them.
Yeah, and I'm still not dropping, if I don't have to, Treylon Burks. Rate team. Pitman for Javonte, got Brees Hall as my RB2.
I prefer Pitman.
I do too, but yeah, I think I would rather hold on to Pitman, honestly.
CKK, should I just drop Henderson? I already have Najee and Javonte and Khalil Herbert off the bench.
I mean, I think you can. I mean, it's not like, but obviously he's an injury. Cam Akers away from really just being the absolute workhorse in this backfield. So I don't want to drop him if I don't have to, but it depends on what you're dropping him for.
Our ma'am Tam, please pick one wide receiver and 2 flex spots. And this is a super flex full PPR. Pollard, Edmonds, Bateman, London, Dortch, Wilson. So we don't have to worry about the super flex part.
So the wide receiver for me is going to be Drake London. And the 2 flexes would be Rashad Bateman and Tony Pollard.
Yeah. In agreement. Brandon C, 12-team full PPR. Gibson, AJ Brown, Akers, and Claypool for Mixon, Goddard, Davis, and Devontae Parker. Okay. Gibson, AJ Brown, Akers, Claypool. Mixon, Goddard, Davis, Devontae Parker. So we can throw out the 2 turd wide receivers. Just get rid of Parker and Claypool. Pretend they're not in here. I like Mixon over Gibson. I like AJ Brown over Davis, and then we're down to Goddard and Akers.
I think I hold on to that Gibson, AJ Brown, Akers side.
I think that one comes down to me to like what the other wide receiver looks like on the Mixon side. Or I guess that wait. No, I'm sorry. The other RB on the Gibson side, right? Because I think AJ Brown is the best player here in the trade. Mixon would be second, which is obviously on the other side, but it's close. It's hard. It's always hard to tell with these 4-5 player trades without seeing the seeing the full roster, right? But I think I lean the Mixon side. If I just had to pick blindly in a vacuum, just because Gibson, Brian Robinson coming back, Akers, who knows? Like at least with Mixon, Goddard, Gabe Davis, those are 3 names you can plug into your lineup every single week and feel good about. Also have Dylan Javonte as my other RB. Should be able to get ETN on waivers. All right, well, hey, do what you got to do. Vincent, Standard League, who should I start in my flex? London, Higgins, Jacobs, or Pollard?
T. Higgins.
Gator, 2-parter. I'm really scared off Rashad Bateman now, and the Steelers are a mess. Thoughts? I mean, I would not be scared off of Rashad Bateman. He still did what he's been doing the past couple weeks. He just didn't score the touchdown, right? Still had the long catch, 59 yards, went 2 for 59. Just the touchdown wasn't there. Steelers have been a mess. They were going to be a mess the entire year, so I really don't think anything has changed there. And then also start 2 of these in a full PPR: Dylan, Connor, Woods, A-Rob, and Pierce. It's going to be Conor and Pierce for me.
Yeah, I agree. I would go the same thing.
NATO, full PPR. Should I trade Fournette and Hill for Deontay and Dalvin Cook? Akers and Monty are my other running backs.
No.
Should I trade Jamal Williams and Patterson for T. Higgins?
Yes.
Yes. 100%. Do that now. Get to the chopper. Would you trade Damien Pierce for Breece Hall and Ken Walker in a full PPR? Hall will be on the bench for now. Could have more long-term value. Wilson could kill Hall's value going forward, though.
No, I think you answered I asked this question earlier today, I think, if I remember correctly. On one of the questions.
And what was your answer?
I think I believe I would. I think I would make this trade. It's risky in my mind, but just because we know now, like Damien Pierce is kind of the lead back in this backfield now, where Breece Hall, we're kind of expecting him to take over, more and more. And then I think Ken Walker's a nice little consolation as well. So I think I would make the move for Breece Hall because I just think his overall ceiling is higher, I think, than Damien Pierce. But I also think Damien Pierce is a higher floor than what Breece Hall has. But we have to remember, too, Breece Hall has scored double-digit fantasy points every single week to start of these first 3 weeks, too. So, but he could take a big blow with Zach Wilson returning and not seeing all these massive amount of targets that he's seeing. So, there's a lot of risk there involved in this trade in my mind. Who wants to do it? Justin. Who do I start at wide receiver 2 and flex?
So we need to sit one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Kirk.
Same.
But that does not feel great.
Random. I'm 3-0, projected to win.
This is where the who to drop for the kicker question.
I honestly, man, like if you can get away with it, you just ride it. You have more depth on your team, or especially on your bench. And if I don't have to drop anybody, I'm not. If you feel really confident, like I said, that you're going to win this week, don't pick up a fucking kicker.
Or about Christian Kirk in a tough matchup against Philly. I think I saw to start him over Damien Pierce in full PPR. I don't know how much Slay goes into the slot. I'm assuming not a ton. I can look it up here real quick. And at least as of week 1, Christian Kirk was running 95% of his snaps in the slot. Darius Slay has been in the slot 1 snap all year, and that was last week. He played 60 snaps at wide corner, 1 at slot. Christian Kirk. I said I know week 1. Why does Christian Hackenberg come up when I type in Christian K on BFF? It got closer with Christian Kirk after week 1. So week 1 was 51 in the slot, 12 out wide. Week 2 was 38-24, and then week 3 was 37-30. So definitely getting closer, but they already showed week 1 they have no problem just throwing him into the slot and letting him, run his routes in the slot for the majority of the game. So I'm not worried about it.
With all that being said, I'd go Damien Pierce.
I think Pierce is certainly safer just because of the projected volume. So I don't mind either. Noel, however you feel most comfortable there. I think if you still want to go Kirk, that's fine. Antonio, 10-man PPR able to trade Mixon and MT for JT. Mention it in the Discord.
And if you are not already, be sure to jump into the Discord. We will drop a link in the. Did we put? I don't think we put it on there. Did we?
You set up the stream, so I did not. But
I did
I'll.
not. I did not set up the stream.
Was that Robbie?
It must have been. Robbie came in, but I also haven't seen Walito in here. Now, Walito is just slacking, or maybe he is in here. He's not saying anything, which seems weird. But we can drop the link in there.
No, he would have said something when I talked about sitting Brandon Cooks. I'll grab the link now if you want to jump on to the.
Yeah, we'll keep going here. Would you start Stafford, Carr, or Goff over Kirk Cousins this week? No. I would go Kirk Cousins.
The answer is always Kirk Cousins. So,
yeah, Murdoch. Stream Colts, Lions, Bears, or Bengals. Rank for this week: Mike Williams, AJ Dillon, or Chris Olave. Who would you stream this week at defense? I'm going Colts.
I'm going Colts as well, but I talked about the Bears on my defensive streamer video. Really not a bad option this week. Their defense they're playing a lot better than what I had thought. So I'm going to go the Colts there, and then rank for this week: Williams, Dillon, and Olave.
I would rank them Mike Williams, Olave, then Dillon.
I would put Dillon up front.
Yeah. Damn, best flex. Brandon Cooks or Sutton? No, this is Sutton.
Sutton.
Yeah, for sure.
Any bets for tomorrow, Thomas? I have not looked. I have not looked into it too deep yet. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But it always seems like that T. Higgins and Waddle have been underpriced in terms of their receiving props. So that's probably two ways that I'll look there. I wish I knew exactly how banged up Tua is. I know he's questionable. I'm expecting him to play, but it really seems like Tyreek Hill wants to get in Eli Apple's ass. So I would love to take the over on Tyreek as well. Like I said, I haven't dove into it a ton, but the two wide receiver twos are the ones that stick out to me. CHB, feeling dangerous, might start both Pats RBs this week. Got lucky last week. Any thoughts? I would not do that. I think Stevenson is the guy that I would want this week over Damien Harris. Hey, you play with fire, CHB. You're gonna get burned sooner or later. Should I trade Tua and Debo for Justin Herbert, Judy, and Wilson? So obviously we have Herbert over Tua, and then would you trade Debo for Judy and Jeff Wilson?
I don't think that I would.
I don't think I would either. I think I would, as much as I like upgrading to Herbert, I think I want to keep Debo there. CKK, who do I start at RB2? Jeff Wilson's starting right now. JT's my RB1. The bench is Herbert, Gordon, and Etienne.
Once again, if David Montgomery's out, I'm going to play Khalil Herbert over Jeff Wilson.
Same. Carter or Edmonds in a half PPR. I'm going to go Edmonds.
Agreed.
Ollie, forgot to mention my comment. I also have Godwin. So who should I start in my flex? Godwin, Kittle, Conor, Wilson.
I'm gonna stick with James Conner here.
If Godwin plays, I want Godwin. If not, Conor. Hirsch, is Camara and Pitman for Tyreek Hill and Conor a good trade?
No. Unless you're getting the Camara side.
You said no quickly. Do you think that's
I just
completely
don't
off
think so. Like
base?
even Pittman to Tyreek Hill, I don't think there's like some huge gap between the two of them. I think it's kind of a little bit similar. When everything obviously Tyreek Hill has a much higher ceiling on a week to week basis. I mean, he could go off for 50 at any time. But I just think when you look at Michael Pittman, there's no other target competition there. They clearly, when he's on the field, he gets absolutely peppered with targets every single week. And so I just don't think there's a huge difference between the two of them. I would prefer Tyreek Hill, probably. I think maybe, I don't know, in a vacuum, but like it's very, very close between the two of them. But then Camara to the other one is not even close to me. I mean, Camara to James Conner, I would rather have Alvin Kamara than James Conner. So it's just I just don't think it's worth it.
Which two here for TX? Hollywood, Keenan, and Olave.
I'm gonna go with Hollywood and Keenan.
Samesies. So this is in regards to the Pierce and Cooper trade from Emmy a little while ago. JT, Javonte, Stevenson, ETN, Robinson, Judy Bateman, Zay, Gallup, A-Rob, Dobbs, Andrews.
I think you need an upgrade at wide receiver for what you have, and so I don't mind making the trade. So if you want to do that, because I mean you're pretty good at running back with JT and Javonte, you have enough depth with Travis Etienne as your third running back, and then Ramondre Stevenson I think could be. But wide receiver, like it's a little thin. Not that Amari Cooper is like
Yeah.
an elite
I
wide
think he kind of
receiver.
just like muddies the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would try and like package someone there, Emmy, to see if you can get someone above Cooper if you're able to. Maybe you can move Zay Jones after the week that he just came off of. Maybe try and get like another level or so higher off of Cooper. I know he's had the 2 good weeks back to back, but I don't know. Something tells me that balloon is going to pop here shortly. Ali, which three should I start? Higgins, London, Deontay, Godwin, or Marquise Brown? Nice plethora.
I'm gonna go Higgins, London, and Godwin. If he plays, if he doesn't, I'm gonna go Deontay. I assume you're gonna go Marquise.
You would assume correctly. B-dubs. Start 2. CMC, Fournette, Patterson, J-Rob, and a half PPR. It's going to be the first 2 for me. I know you want to get J-Rob in there.
It's the first 2.
All right. Ashton, rocking with us on Twitch. Let's go. 10-team PPR, started 1 RB and a flex. J-Rob, Hunt, Harris, Herbert.
This is going to be James Robinson, and if Monty's out, Claire Herbert. Monty plays. Let's go with Kareem Hunt.
Would you drop Dobbins for Olave?
No. I don't think I'm dropping J.K. Dobbins, but I definitely want to add Olave. But I also feel like if Olave's out there, this is probably a maybe like an 8-team league. Kind of because I just can't imagine Chris Olave is just chilling out there after his last couple of weeks that he's had. So, I mean, if you're loaded at like running back and it is a much shallower league in terms of how many people are in there, that I think it's not a crazy thing to do.
Wentz or Goff?
I'm going Goff.
Goff for me as well. Saquon and Elliott for CPAT and Taylor.
I'm gonna go with the Saquon side.
Saquon side for me as well. Kirk or Hollywood in the flex full PPR. I'm going to go Christian Kirk.
Agreed.
Here, Ashton, I will go Philly defense. Dolphins or Bengals, pick them. I'm going to go Bengals if Tua's banged up, but earlier in the week when I saw this line, I was all about the Dolphins, but now with Tua being banged up, I think I lean Bengals. 12-team PPR also for Ashton, Dortch, Gordon, Woods, or Zay Jones.
Greg Dortch.
I'm going to go Zay Jones in this one. Only reason being that obviously the Cardinals have been playing from behind a ton, and I'm not sure that happens as much this week. ET rocking with us. Need help here. Came to the right place. Currently starting CMC and Hunt at running back, Debo and second wide receiver, and either Thomas or Hall in the flex. James Conor is on waivers? What? Would he be a good starter this week? ET, yes. Let us know what the rest of your lineup looks like to see who we can drop to pick up James Conor. Just to know. I mean, I think I'm putting Michael Thomas in the flex over Breece Hall, but I do want to know who we can drop to pick up James Conor. Harry, hey guys, full PPR. Who do I play at flex? Samuel, Cooks, TMC, Herbert, or Dobbs?
I hate having to keep giving this, but it's Khalil Herbert. As long as Monty's out, because I have right now I have Khalil Herbert as a top 15 running back, so I'm going to play him if I can. Now, if you can't and he's off the table, then I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel.
Do you actually have Samuel ranked over Cooks and TMC?
Oh, I did not see TMC. I just saw. Excuse me. I just saw the Cooks one. I'm pretty sure I do. I know I have Brandon Cooks pretty low, much lower than most people do.
Yeah, it would be. I was just curious. I would have TMC over Samuel, but I would have both. That's who it was. I said Curtis Samuel over Cooks earlier. So if it gets
I do. I have Curtis Samuel ahead of both of them. I just wanted to double check. I have Curtis Samuel at 28, and I have Terry McLaurin and Brandon Cooks both a little behind them.
Okay. Gabriel, let us know what other options you have at quarterback. I think Wentz is fine, but let us know what options you have. It also it worries me a little bit that you have Penn State great Micah Parsons going to be screaming off the edge, getting after that ass after Wentz just took 9 sacks last week. Boba, appreciate you. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit us with a like and hit us with a subscribe as well. If you want to jump into the Discord like Boba did earlier this week, I dropped the link in the comments a little bit earlier, so you can go ahead and jump in absolutely free, no strings attached. Dynasty, redraft, DFS, props, bets, talking all that over there on the Fantasy Authority Discord. Is Dortch from Arizona a good pickup? Should I start him over? I'm assuming that it's DJ Moore, Gibson, or Ayuk. I think Dortch is fine as a pickup.
But you're not. I'm not starting him over any of those three. I don't think.
I would start him over DJ Moore at this point.
That's how far we've dropped. That's how far precious DJ Moore has dropped off. But because they're playing Arizona this week, correct? Yeah. And Arizona has been truly trash, and their secondary has. But on the flip side of that, DJ Moore has not been great to start the year either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dortch. The only thing with Dortch is once Rondell Moore comes back, that's really going to muddy the waters there for him. Kells.
Hey Jones.
Yes, Zay Jones, Fashow. Tyler Butters, who should I flex? CPAT, Hunt, Thielen, Godwin, Samuel.
Godwin assumes he plays.
Assuming Godwin plays, it's going to be Godwin. If he doesn't,
I'm going to go Patterson here.
I would go Patterson as well. Dolphins D or Bills D? I got it, Kev. This is going to be. Who do the Bills have this week? Why am I completely blanking on this? Oh, man. Against the Ravens. Is there... I really don't want to play either of them. I mean, I guess if you're forcing me to play one, I'm going to go Dolphins D. But Des, let me know what your waivers look like. Not in love with either option this week. The chef is back in the house cooking with us. Trey CH and Muth for Akers or ETN and Patterson, or for Breece Hall and Pollard. Man, I do want to get out from CEH. I do think that Akers is starting to take over this backfield. Patterson, we we were wrong about this all season long last year, but it has to stop sooner or later, right? Like there's no way that he's just been like, oh, all you got to do is just plug him into running back with the Falcons, and he's fine as a 33-year-old. The thing with Breece Hall and Paul, we talked about it a little bit already, is Zach Wilson did not show the same propensity for targeting running backs as literally every other Jets quarterback has. So if Breece Hall is splitting reps with Carter, and now instead of getting double-digit targets, he's getting 4. Like I think that's really going to hamper his fantasy output. So I think if I'm going to do this, I would do it for. I think it's going to be the Breece and Pollard side, just because I think they have the most upside. I don't think J-Rob's going anywhere, so I'm not really interested in him in ETN rather in that trade scenario. So I think I'm going to go Breece Hall and Pollard, just swing for the upside. You know, if Zeke goes down, Pollard has made this like a true 50-50 split. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it for Hall and Pollard. Derek Carr or Herbert. I'm going Herbert there. I don't know why they played him as long as they did last week. I don't know why they played him at all, quite frankly, but I'm going to go Herbert there. Derek Carr, not a fantastic matchup against Denver. Should I trade Pierce and Michael Carter for Camara and a PPR? Yeah, Scooby, I would definitely do that. Mark. Good to see Mark in here. Rate my team currently 3-0. Russ Tua, QB, CMC, Barkley, Jones, Madison, Mostert, Sutton, Lamb, Deontay, Boyd, Jones, Pitts. Should I look to make any moves? I would definitely look to move on from one of those quarterbacks. With the way that Russ is playing, I would not want to make that decision on a week in, week out basis. So what I would do is I would put both of them on the block. Whatever you get, I would just take your favorite package there. Obviously, you have to love CMC and Barkley and Jones at running back. Sutton and Lamb, Deontay at wide receiver is solid as well. And you finally got a good week out of Pitts. So, maybe you could look to take, sell high on Zay Jones, maybe package him with somebody like a Madison. If people are going to start worrying about Dalvin, maybe you could look at something there. But I think there's a reason why you're 3-0, Mark. So, keep it up. Carmine, should I trade Hill and Pierce for Cup?
Yeah.
I think I would. T. Butters. Everyone knows it's Butters. That's me. Should I trade D-Hop and CPAT for Fournette? I will still have Adams, A.J. Brown, and Thielen.
Yeah, I mean, especially because he has this week and then 2 more weeks. Yeah.
Drake, Schultz, Patty, or Everett rest of season?
I really want to say Schultz, but it's just tough with this PCL injury he's dealing with.
I think
Um,
I answered one of Brian's questions, and then he asked another one. So I think he had a tight end other than Everett in the first one, and then he asked again and added Everett the second time through. And I said the same thing. Like I wish I could know how Schultz is going to look post this injury. I still want to say it's Schultz, but it's close.
yeah, right now I'm probably still going to stick with Schultz. I'll probably go Schultz, Everett, then Patty Fry.
Alejandro, Kirk, and Jacobs for Evans.
Yeah, I do that.
Have Smith, Lockett. Should I keep Mike Evans?
Because he clearly doesn't need running back. He has David Montgomery, Eckler, Chubb. I like Ramondre Stevenson as depth too. So, wait, should I keep Mike Evans?
So it looks like sending Evans.
Then no, I would not do that.
Okay. Cousins or Geno full PPR. It's still Cousins. Not jumping on that Geno bandwagon just yet. There it is. Njoku.
Okay, so then I would go Schultz, Njoku, Everett, Fryermuth.
Olave or Sutton wide receiver 2. That is going to be Sutton, DD Red Solo Cup, Trade McLaurin and Singletary for Javonte or Keenan. Or who, if at all?
Yes. If you can do it for Javonte, I like that. I would do that. If that's an option.
Andrews and Dak for Amonra and Pitts. Have Herbert at QB right now.
Yes, I would do that. Don't get me wrong, Mark Andrews has been a baller, but
for St. Brown side.
But Amon-Ra St. Brown has been a baller himself, and getting Kyle Pitts is too much. Yes, 100% I'm doing that trade.
Who are we starting here? 10 PPR, 10 team full PPR. We need 2 flex. Herbert, J. Rob, Chase, assuming that's T. Higgins, Wilson, Camara. On the bench, we have Hall, Allen, Lazard, Jones, Lockett.
So I'm starting Keenan Allen over Garrett Wilson.
Yes.
Assuming he plays. And then the flex, I would want Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Yep. Or going Aaron. Or wait, never mind. That's Zay Jones, not Aaron Jones.
Okay, that's the big difference.
that
then
is,
no, yeah.
So just swapping out Keenan.
Yeah.
JJH full PPR 2 flex. Kirk, Moore, Sanders, Romeo, Lizard. It's going to be Kirk and Miles for me.
I'm going to go Kirk and DJ Moore.
Mike A, half PPR, 2 flex. Samuel, Mike Will, Pierce, and Olave.
Mike Williams and Damien Pierce.
Would you drop Rashad White for Brian Robinson?
No.
Pitman, Olave, Sutton, start 2. That is going to be Pitman and Sutton for both of us. Yak over on Twitch, full PPR, 1 start. Terry, Lockett, or Mike Williams. I already have CD and Gabe Davis starting. It's going to be Mike Williams for both of us. Hi, you. Dalvin Cook, Marquise Brown, J-Rob, Kirk, or Olave at the flex. If Cook plays, it's Cook.
If not, it's James Robinson.
Yeah, I guess. I'll finally say James Robinson. Brian Drake, how much fab do I spend on Elijah Moore? I have 130 available.
What's the limit? Like, how much, like, what's your... What did you start with?
I mean, I'm not going to drop a ton. To be honest, seems like Garrett Wilson is actually a thing. Tyler Conklin's been getting a lot of work. I don't know.
I would say probably like 15%.
That's 15%. What does that come out to? It'd be $19. I was gonna say like 15. It's like 15 to 20 would be fine. Boom. Dropped Henderson for ETN off waivers. Did I make a good move or mess up badly?
You definitely did not mess up. I would much prefer Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Put in a trade. Kirk and CEH for JJ and Patterson. Can pick up Jamal Williams off waivers if trade goes through. Is that Justin Jefferson?
All day. If that's Justin Jefferson.
If you got Justin Jefferson, if you just offered that, I don't think it's going to get it done. But if you get it, you get it. Start two to PPR: Akers, Henderson, Gordon, and Javonte Williams.
Javonte and Cam Akers.
Boom. Opinion on Mike Evans. Should I trade him in an 8-man league? Like we were talking about earlier, it's going to be really, really tough in an 8-man. And obviously, he didn't play last week. Going to have that little stench on people's minds. And if Godwin comes back, that's going to muddy the waters even more. So I think you have to hold until something good happens with Mike Evans. Would you drop Julio Jones or Jacoby Myers to pick up Pickens?
No.
Would not. 808, would you drop Chase Edmonds and pick up Rashad Penny?
No.
Interesting. Trade Kirk for Higgins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One Higgins there. CHB, take him down. Full PPR flex option, need 2. DJ Moore, Dobbs, Lazard, Miles Sanders.
DJ Moore and Miles Sanders.
I'm going to go Dobbs and Miles Sanders. Hope you guys are ready for the DJ Moore explosion week since I'm just shitting on him this entire show, so you should probably fire him up. Would you trade Debo for Pitman and A.J. Dillon?
Yes.
I'd do that as well. 2 flex spots, Pierce, Mike, Olave, and Samuel.
I'm guessing that's Mike Williams.
I was blanking on Mike.
I mean, I guess it could be Mike Evans, but I assume it's Mike Williams.
I'm going to start whatever Mike that is and Pierce.
As long as it's not Mike Davis, yes. Yeah.
Herbert, Edmonds, or Miles Sanders for the bench. Wait. So let's rank these.
Well, I mean, if for this week it is Miles Sanders, or for this week it would be Khalil Herbert, Miles Sanders, Chase Edmonds. But we're talking about for the rest of the year, we're talking about that it's Miles Sanders, Chase Edmonds, and Khalil Herbert.
Okay. Dukes, we both really like Camara this week. We think this is a bounce back spot for him for sure. We talked about him on our RB ranking show. Really like Camara this week. Are we playing Stevenson over Akers and Henderson this week in a PPR? It would be Akers, Stevenson, and Henderson for me. Zay Jones or DJ Moore for Why So Serious?
You have to go here. You have to go DJ Moore here.
Zay Jones.
I'm just
more targets, better production. Papa John's.
30 points incoming for DJ Moore this week.
I know. It really is. K5, which D to start? Pitt, the Giants, Indy, Denver, KC. That is going to be Indy for me. Letters start 1. Olave, Conor, Bateman, Godwin, Gibson.
Chris Godwin.
If Godwin sits.
James Conner.
Should I trade Dak for Brady? I wouldn't. Quinn, trade Andrews and Pitman/Waddle to receive Kelsey and Chubb, or trade Pitman, Waddle, and D-Hop to receive CMC.
Well, that last one you'd be getting it's in my mind, you'd be getting fleeced. I'm not trading Pitman. If that's I guess that's either one of Pitman and Waddle for D-Hop, CMC.
I would do.
If you can do Andrews and Waddle to get Kelsey and Chubb, I'd do that.
Yeah. Thinking about Waddle and D-Hop for CMC. It's just really concerning to me that CMC has not been seeing the targets. We thought Baker was going to be an upgrade for that offense. He has not been. I think I prefer this. Man, I think I'm just gonna hold. I'm just gonna hold Quinn. I mean, Andrew's just been absolutely crushing, making me look like a gigantic ass after saying I'm fading him all off season. He's just been absolutely crushing. Kelsey's been solid. He's been good. He's been what we expect. I'm just gonna hold. Start, cut, sit. Here we go. Pam Anderson, Cam Diaz, and Penelope Cruz.
I'm starting Penelope Cruz.
I'm starting Cameron Diaz. I'm gonna. See, I think this all depends on what you're trying to do with this team, right? Pam Anderson is the absolute wild card here. I'm gonna start Cameron Diaz. I'm gonna sit Penelope Cruz. I'm gonna cut Pam Anderson.
See, I would start Cruz, sit.
See,
I would sit Cam Diaz and cut Pam Anderson.
Great job, Zach. Really appreciate that one. Braden, what is up tonight? You're here. That's what's up. Oh, proven accuracy on Discord. Let's go. How does Clyde and T. Higgins for Brees Hall and Romeo Dobbs sound? No, I'm not moving T. Higgins in that trade. I'm keeping. I know we talked about wanting to move on from Clyde, but I'm not doing it at the expense of also losing T. Higgins in that trade. Full PPR start.
Would you just really quickly on that? Would you trade if you could to CEH for Brees Hall? I would.
I don't think I would. I still want the better offense. Full PPR start, 2 wide receivers in a flex. Cooks, A-Rob, Lockett, Moore, J-Rob, Khalil if Monty is out, Madison if Cook is out, Kareem Hunt. So let's start with the 2 wide receivers. Cooks, A-Rob, Lockett, Moore.
I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks and DJ Moore.
I would go Cooks and A-Rob. And then we need a flex.
So if Dalvin Cook is out, it's Alexander Madison. But I am betting that he plays. I think he'll play. This is the same problem that we talked about with him heading into the season with Dalvin Cook with this shoulder problem. He's been dealing with it now for a while, and it just continues to be. If it gets really bad, he'll require surgery, and the season will be over. But he's far away from that right now. I mean, he played through this last year too. So,
Yeah.
but I expect Dalvin Cook to play. If he's not,
I would go.
it's Alexander Madison. Now, if he doesn't play, or if he does play and that's not an option, then I'm going to go with James Robinson.
I would go Herbert over everybody if Monty is out. But if he's not out, I would go J-Rob there in the flex. Mariota or Goff this week for Drake?
Go Jared Goff.
Just touched on this. Crab gravy. Confidence level 70%. I would think he plays for this. He's had these shoulder issues. I think he had both shoulders operated on. Maybe one of them in high school, but definitely he's had both of them operated on before he got to the pros. So it's been an issue ongoing for him. Like Kev said, he played with it last year as well. So he'll be fine through the rest of the season. Duke be dogging over on Twitch. What do you think about Camara this week? Talked about him. Really like him in a bounce back spot for sure. Fire him up with confidence. Already got this one. Dropping Burks for Conor.
Yeah, I think you can do that. Yeah.
There we go. Should I trade Lenny for Eckler in a half PPR? This would have been a slam for me even like a week ago.
I think I'm going to keep Leonard Fournette. Like, I do think Austin Eckler is going to bounce back. This offense just find it a little weird. But, I mean, it's tough because both these teams, their offensive lines have been decimated at this point, more so to the Buck side of things. Because, I mean, them losing Rashawn Slater is a big blow to that offensive line.
Not great.
And so the other concerning part with Austin Eckler is that he's not like 61% opportunity share isn't terrible. He's averaging about 10 carries per game, 22, but he is averaging 7 targets per game, which is nice. He's actually first in targets among all running backs so far this year. The biggest problem for him this year has been the touchdowns, that he went from having 20 last year to none this year. But he's still just as efficient as he's always been. He's 10th in yards created per touch, and he's 8th in yards per route run. He's running a ton of routes. He's third in routes run. He has a 19% target share in this offense. So I think better days are coming for him. But it's like a slight lean towards Leonard Fournette. But if you wanted to make the trade for Eckler, I think it's not a bad trade either.
I'm with you. Would you trade Javonte for Aaron Jones in a PPR?
No.
Hunt or Dillon in the flex? I'm going to go Dillon here.
I'm going to go Kareem Hunt against Atlanta.
Start 2 running backs in a flex here for K5. Deontay Johnson, Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, James Conor, Kareem Hunt, Breece Hall, AJ Dillon.
Khalil Herbert. Same caveat.
So I
just want to make sure we're saying it.
We're locking in Jamal Williams, correct?
Yes. So it'd be Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams. And then the flex, I would go with Deontay.
If Herbert doesn't play, who's the other running back we're starting?
James Conor.
Okay. On the same page. Any moves here for Diego in a 10-team standard? Tua, Fournette, Hall, Pitman, Kelsey, Devonta Smith. Let me scroll down here quick to see if Diego put any. Diego, let us know what your bench looks like. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Let me ET had a question earlier, right? Not just the Burks.
Well, I know he said dropping Treylon Burks for Conor.
Yeah, did he have something before that? Go ahead and just go to the next one. Oh wait, hold on. He did have one says need help here. Currently starting CMC and Hunt as running back, Debo set and wide receiver, Thomas or Hall in the flex, James Conner on waivers. Rest of my bench: Dak, Madison, Eli, Burks. Okay. So Thomas or Hall in the flex. Starting him over any of those other options. I said MT in the flex. I think you agreed.
Yeah.
Are you going Conor over MT?
No.
Okay.
Joe, is Zach Wilson going to increase or decrease? I think it's going to decrease it.
Good to see Joe in here.
The thing that worries me is that it's the biggest reason we've seen for all these guys is because they're throwing the ball over 50 times per game. That is going to come down.
Right.
Their passing rate is so ridiculously high that it has to go down. And when it does, it's going to be in the face of a lot of these guys. And I think Tyler Conklin is going to be something that loses some value, right? Especially over what he's done over the first 3 weeks of the year. But it's because there's been such an incredible amount of targets to go around. That's not going to continue. They're not going to continue to throw at this rate. And so when Zach Wilson comes back, it's not going to be. I don't know what to really expect of Zach Wilson at this point. I mean, he looked not good last year. He did look better over the second half of last year, but now we got to add weapons. But I'm not writing Zach Wilson off after this 1 year. But I still think it has to decrease.
Or if those running back targets just get siphoned, you know what I mean? Like obviously that pie is going to get smaller, but if like that running back pie just disappears, like maybe like Conklin could still have some value. Our Dez, I would go with. I'm going with the Bears here.
Really, I would go with the Giants. The Bears offense has just been so bad.
I mean, the Giants defense has also been #not good. The Bears, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know like the only like glaring weakness for the Bears defense is they give up the 13th most PPR points per game to running backs. Outside of that, QB, wide receiver, and tight end are like I think they're like 21st, 22nd, somewhere in there. So like not a ton of glaring weaknesses.
I would also say though they played the Texans, they played the 49ers with Trey Lance and the Hurricane Bowl. It's like they really haven't been like outside of the Packers game, right? Is the only team they've played that I would say. I think it actually helps them.
I think they sacked Aaron Rodgers 3 times in that game.
And that might have been. I'm trying to remember if Bakhtiari and Elgin Jenkins were out in that game too. So I don't know. I would go Giants. Should I start Kirk or Keenan Allen? I'm going Keenan Allen as long as he plays.
Keenan Allen. Gator, we were just talking about some of those defensive options. I mean, I think a lot of the ones that Dez just spelled out are probably going to be available for you. I'm on the Bears side. Kev is on the opposite side of that matchup going up against the Giants. So both those guys should be available for you. Brian Mallory, 1 and 2 to 12 team, 2 QB, Superflex, PPR, 3 wide receivers. Lamar Lawrence. How are you 1 and 2 with Lamar Lawrence? RBs, CMC, ETN, Akers, McKissick, wide receivers, CD. Wow. That's a really good 1 and 2 team.
I really am surprised because Lamar has just been like on another level of scoring points,
Yeah.
and so like I am shocked.
Smitty's popped off the past 2 weeks. I mean, I guess the problem has been at running back. I mean,
Yeah,
CMC has been fine. ETN has been like a RB3. Akers has not been great, although we finally saw some signs of life from him last week. So I guess that's how. But like Lamar should help you like cover some of those gaps. I mean, I like that team.
yeah,
I'd
I think
be
it's pretty solid.
curious to know where you sit in points there, Brian. Ibrahim, Pollard, Jacobs, Sanders, half PPR, rest of season.
I'm gonna go Sanders, Pollard, and Josh Jacobs. I'm just not that excited about
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, and like I have the like it feels like that it could be very possible depending on how this season goes because now they are 0-3, and if they do not turn it around quickly, it is going to be a bad year, and we could end up seeing Josh McDaniels fired before the season's over with. But it also, even if they don't, like it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of I mean, they don't. It doesn't seem like they really love Josh Jacobs either, and so I feel like Zamir White, could end up starting to take more of this backfield. So I would go Sanders, Pollard, Jacobs, but they're all kind of close.
Agreed. Emmy hitting us with the super chat. Appreciate you. Thoughts on me trading Zay Jones and Pierce for Chase or AJ Brown? He has wide receivers: Chase, AJ Brown, Sutton. RBs are Lenny, Aaron Jones, Gordon, and Herbert. Think you're reaching a bit too high there, Emmy.
I mean, yeah, if somebody
Need
offered you that, hell yeah, we're about that life. But
yeah.
but there's no. I would be shocked if that would get it done for Jamar Chase or AJ Brown. I get what you're
Even
trying to do. You're
Sutton.
trying to sell high on Zay Jones, what he's been able to do. But I'm assuming you probably just picked him up, and then Damien Pierce has one game where he scored 18 points. I love Damien Pierce, but I don't think you're going to get Jamar Chase or AJ Brown.
I don't think you're gonna get Sutton for it either.
Wait,
And
I'm confused. He says he has wide receivers. Oh, okay, never mind. I get what he's
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that now. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, I would do it for Sutton. I know you left Sutton off the list here, but I would 1,000% do that for Sutton. Not even think twice about it. If you can pull it off, I'm assuming that you're not going to be able to though.
I will say it makes you a little thin at running back by doing it, but just because Damien Pierce is really nice, like RB3, I think.
I can't
He
remember
is.
what Emmy's team was.
We are in inverse waiver wire. Where was the last team get picked the first every with legitimate setting?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the standard. I mean, team that's last gets the first pick.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, especially because trying to make some better parity stuff like that. I have always said that I think Fab is by far the best way to run waivers. Always, like
Absolutely.
it is the most fair way across the board for everybody has to start with the same pool. It's up to everybody else to manage their budget, and it gives everybody a shot at players every single week. Like I hate rolling waivers. I absolutely hate it. That I don't think that a team just sitting there holding on to their waiver all year is the way to go either. And then inverse is fine, but still, it's kind of also it makes it tough on be able to really get anything done if you're a top team and you're every single week you're starting from the bottom. But
At
and
least
nor should you
the
be penalized in my mind because you've built a good team. And we're talking about redraft.
at least the rolling waivers gives the good teams a shot at getting closer to the top of the pecking order for waivers.
Yeah.
It's either Fab or the rolling waivers. I mean inverse. It is a legit thing because it's the most common. But I prefer the other two options that we laid out there. Full PPR trade away J Rob and A Rob to get Keenan Allen. My wide receivers are Higgins, Cooks, A Rob, Moore, Godwin, and Lockett. RBs with CMC, Barkley, Hunt, J Rob, Madison, and Herbert.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not trading the number 3 overall running back in fantasy football right now. If people think that's too high, and then I think he is the ultimate sell, and you could get more out of him than Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I think you can get something. I don't mind moving.
It's really easy if you're trying to just make a case for James Robinson. Like if you're trying to trade somebody, and let's say like it's a home league or whatever, and you contact people, like it's really easy to be able to say, look at what James Robinson has done over the last 3 weeks of the season, and to be able to make that argument case for James Robinson. So if you're not sold on him, I think that's fine. You can absolutely go out and try to trade him, but you can get more than Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Who at the wide receiver and two? Who at the wide receiver 2 and flex for truth? Sutton, Kirk, Herbert, Conor. It's going to be Sutton, and if Monty sits, it's going to be Herbert. And I'm going to go, if Monty does not sit, I'm going to go Kirk. Ayo.
Started it. Well, what do you think of this trade? I give away CH and Judy for Pitman. Or who else do you think I can get for those two? Should I post my team to help? So this is what I would say, AO, is that
I would do that trade.
I would too. But this might be one of those times you might be able to slide in a little ancillary piece on this deal. Because again, CH, you just look at his numbers, raw numbers. I think he stands out, and then Judy obviously has like the 1 week where he did good. But I would do it on the surface. But I feel like you could probably get the other team, whoever that other team is, to maybe slide in another like a depth or a bench piece to make it even a little bit better for you.
Yeah. Appreciate the super chat, AO. Should I do Sutton and Herbert for Waddle? No, I won Sutton. I won Sutton over Waddle.
Yeah.
Herbert is on the wrong side there. Barkley for Kelsey. If I have Najee and Gibson. I mean, I don't think I don't think you have Gibson for that much longer, to be honest. And Najee is someone that we have been talking about that we kind of went out from under if you can do that. So you are thinner at running back than I think what you realize. So we're going to keep Barkley there. Axl Rose, Brady, Russ, Tua, Lawrence, rest of season. Who are you taking in and what order? Rest of season, I will go Russ, Tua, Brady, and T-Law.
I would agree with that.
Traded away DK for Terry to have PPR. Good or bad?
It's fine. I mean, I probably prefer DK, but it's not like egregious or anything like that.
Start sit for Alejandro. Hurts, Cook, Swift, Higgins, DK, Pitts, CPAT. On the bench, we have Cooks, Juju, Kirk, Myers, Hines, Henderson, Herbert, and then we have a couple of names on waivers as well. Higgins, DK. I'm going to go Kirk over DK.
I would not, but I get it. I just think this is a smash mashup for DK Metcalf, against the Lions, excuse me. And I am concerned a little bit with that Eagles secondary. They've been really good. That defense. So I would stay with DK, but I probably wouldn't change your lineup that you have. Maybe go if you really want to get, but I guess Khalil Herbert I would play over Cordell Patterson. Again, if Dave Montgomery's out, we should just put that up on the screen somewhere.
Just have a graphic come across every time a Herbert question comes up. Do you trade Debo, AJ Brown, or St. Brown to get Rodgers, or even trade one of them for Kyler Murray? Remember, my QB is Russ. Stick with no. Do not trade any of those top players for a running back. Truth. Do not do that. I mean,
Never trade
maybe
for a quarterback ever. There's so many options out there. Play matchups on a week to week basis. Like, especially you're going to start. So things are going to start to thin out. Like something that people need to. Now this year's different because bye weeks normally you start at week 4, I think, or was it week 5? I think it was week 4. But now bye weeks don't start till week 6. This year. But once they do, you're going to start to see a lot of teams that don't have any depth on their team that are really going to start losing. But you're also going to start seeing a lot of people starting to drop all these extra players that people are keeping that they don't really need. And so I'm not trading anybody, though, for a quarterback.
Yeah. Cooper, Kirk, Hollywood Brown start 2 in a full PPR.
Amari Cooper and Hollywood Brown.
I will go Kirk and Hollywood. Rate my team here for Gitz, Taylor, Dobbins, Cup, Evans, Myers, Hawkinson, Elijah Moore, 12-team full PPR.
Don't love J.K. Dobbins. I don't know what your bench looks like, but I don't love J.K. Dobbins. He's just coming back from that injury, especially, and we know that it tends to take running backs longer to come back. Usually it's that second year where they start to return to kind of look like the player they were before. But he had far more than just an ACL tear. I mean, he pretty much destroyed his knee. And so that's why they've been so cautious with him, and it's why it's taken him so long to come back. I know he came back last week, J.K. Dobbins did, but he barely played. And so I would try to figure something out there.
I would give it a C. Just because, I mean, like, Myers, your wide receiver 3, is like fine, but not a ton of upside there. Like Elijah Moore, I mean, maybe we see him bounce back. Maybe he has some more chemistry and rapport with Zach Wilson versus having Joe Flacco there. But couple of question marks. It's not an awful team. If JT can start being JT again, that's going to go a long way, obviously, to helping you. Like I said, give it a C. Tam, please pick one flex and one wide receiver in a full PPR. So wide receivers, let's start there. We have London, Dortch, Garrett Wilson. That is going to be London. And then who are we putting here at flex? I am going to go Pollard.
I agree.
Brees Hall, top 15 rest of the season.
I mean, rest of season, no. By week 7 or 8, sure. I think it could be really attainable by then. You know, I meant to mention this earlier. Everywhere I possibly can, I would probably try to start trying to add Jameson Williams if he's sitting out there. I feel like once he comes back with the way this offense is playing, I think he could be kind of like a very much similar to what we saw like Amon-Ra St. Brown or like an Odell Beckham. Like I think he's really good. He's somebody that I would want to have on my bench right now, especially if you have IR spots and you could throw him down in the IR.
Start here for Alejandro. We have Murray, quarterback, Eckler, Cook, A-Rob, Davis, Waller, Chubb. On the bench, we have Keenan, Juju, Pierce, Kirk, Lockett, Edmonds, Pollard. Then again, some options here at waivers. I mean, putting in Keenan over A-Rob.
Yes.
Putting in, is that Corey Davis? I'm going to put in Juju. So I'm putting Keenan and Juju at wide receiver. Waller obviously not touching.
Oh, that's probably Gabe Davis.
I'm
like that can't be Corey Davis, especially if like Olave is sitting out there, Brandon Ayuk. I'm like, there's no shot that's Corey
Good
Davis.
Call.
Yeah, it's got to be Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Keenan over A-Rob, and then I think you can keep everything else the same. I think I would drop Lockett for Olave though.
Which just feels weird to say because like that's not normal, but I would agree. I think I'd rather have Chris Olave than Tyler Lockett.
Do you trade Aaron Jones for A.J. Dillon? I do not. Aaron Jones for Javonte?
I would want Javonte.
Guy said he would consider CPAT and Deontay Johnson for Williams and Drake London.
Oh, you do that. You do that.
If you're getting Javonte's side.
Ooh, I don't know. I think even if it was Jamal, I would consider it. But yeah, I would be less likely to do it. But yeah, I think so. If it's Javonte, absolutely.
Fantastic, Thomas. Appreciate that. Sorry, I just want to grab this here from our Glock guy shooting off a super chat here. 8 teams, so have options. Play Higgins in wide receiver 2 spot in case St. Brown doesn't play. Flex James Conor, Moore, Cooks, Deontay, J-Rob, Jamwill.
One, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to play, but regardless of that. So if you could flex, so then I would assume Higgins would become available. So then I would just play Higgins in the flex.
Yeah. Going to keep that one up there for a second. What should I change in a team? QB is Herbert. RB is Fournette. Cook. Wide receivers are Evans and Cobb. Tight end is Hawkinson. Flex is Christian Kirk. We have Akers, Carr, Gibson, and Montgomery, and Garrett Wilson on the bench. Gianni, in an 8-team league, you can go ahead and drop Derek Carr. You're not going to start Carr over Herbert most weeks, even with Herbert struggling here a little bit. And with an 8-team league, you're going to have options anyway, just in case you do need to go get that extra quarterback. Other than that, I mean, not seeing much to change here. I think we're keeping that as is. But yes, I'd be dropping Derek Carr. There's definitely going to be someone available that has more upside and more that is more valuable to your roster than a backup quarterback. Tua, Swift, Saquon, T, Mike Thomas, Ertz, Najee. And then on the bench, we have Deontay, Etienne, Mooney, Drake London, Henderson, Myers, and Wentz. Then again, we have some options on the waivers. I am dropping Wentz to pick up Ayuk or Dotson, but I'm definitely dropping Wentz to pick up. Yes, to pick up Ayuk. Clear a path of targets there for him. For the bench, I'm not changing anything.
Would you trade Darnell Mooney or drop Darnell Mooney for Brandon Ayuk? Huh?
Yeah, I would drop. I glossed over Mooney there. I would drop Mooney and Wentz, pick up Ayuk and Dotson.
I'm sad. Poor Darnell Mooney.
I'm sad. If you want to go to the next one, I'll find. I know. Oh wait, should I do Sutton and Herbert for Waddle?
No.
Who should I trade for Waddle? He wants Marquise. I don't know who else to add. I don't think you have to add anything else to Marquise. Honestly, I mean, a small piece. Like maybe you do Herbert, assuming he's only going to be fantasy viable for a week or two. He's kind of the hot name right now. Maybe you can do something like that, but I don't think I'd be adding too much else on top of Marquise, to be honest. Juju or Adam Thielen, we're going to go Juju there. Should I trade CH for Dalvin Cook? CKK, if you can do that right now. Pause, go send it, accept it. and come back. Start Kirk. Yeah, I mean, obviously depends on who your other options are. But I think Kirk is fine. Kev was talking a little bit earlier. He's a little bit worried. It depends on who your other options here are. Jay, traded Madison and DJ Moore for Brandon Cooks. Is that a dub? Yeah, I don't mind that.
I'd rather have Madison and DJ Moore.
Okay. Brady, Carr, or Stafford? That's Stafford for me.
Yeah.
Start 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. We have Metcalf, Judy, Keenan Allen, Devonta Smith, Burke, Najee, Mixon, Javonte Williams, or Jeff Wilson. Start with the wide receivers there. Keenan, Judy. I'm sure you're going to say Metcalf.
I'm going to go Keenan, Devonta Smith, and Metcalf.
And I'll go Keenan, Devonta, and Judy. 2 running backs. I'm going to go
Najee and Mixon.
And then what about the flex?
Javonte.
Jatano. I hope I said that right. Apologies if I did not. Sit 1 wide receiver and a half PPR. Williams, Davis, London, Olave.
It hurts, but I'm going to say Chris Olave. I'm going to say Chris Olave.
Yeah, I think that's the call there. DP, thinking of trading Najee. I want to know who I could target for a trade. Right now is not the time to do that. DP, you're going to have to wait until Najee does something. It's going to be rough out there. He has not put together a fantastic year to this point. I think we could get that against the Jets. So I would wait and hold and see what ends up happening. But I mean, maybe if you could flip Najee for Cook, Najee for Javonte Williams, something like that. Najee for somebody like, trying to think of like a struggling wide receiver you could potentially go out and get for him. But wait until this week. I think we end up getting that bounce back spot. Alejandro says you deserve more subs. Hey, we're out here grinding for him, Alejandro. Appreciate the kind words. What is your current job as a non-fantasy question? I write for a sports betting website, and I also do some social media stuff for a company that was just acquired by Yahoo. So that's me, Kev.
And I work for a trucking company. Well, I should say trucking company. It's a Rush Truck Center. They work on, they own a bunch of different heavy truck dealers, international. They own, I think Peterbilt and a couple other ones. And so I work for Rush Truck Center. That's who I work for.
Tua or Carr? We're going to go Tua there, Shane. I have Jeff Wilson, Tony Parr. Would you drop either of them for Darrell Henderson? 808, I would not.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't drop either of them for him.
Standard scoring need 2 here. Jamal Williams, Herbert, Camara, Damien Pierce. In a standard, it's going to be Jamal and Camara for me.
Yeah.
Hope you're good, DC King. Flex question. Half PPR, Gibson or Curtis Samuel? I'm going to go Curtis.
I'm going to go Antonio Gibson.
It's close. Will McKinnon take over CEH, or they just split all year?
No, I don't think he's going to take over CEH. it's just going to be a committee, and like I still wouldn't be surprised if Isaiah Pacheco ends up at some point taking over for one of them. Both of them, McKinnon and CH, have both had a lot of injuries in their career, and so if one of them goes down, like that's why like I still hold Isaiah Pacheco, because I think if one of them, mainly if CH were to go down, like he steps into that role that CH has, but I think he could end up being a larger role.
661 BZ trade Knox for Conklin. I have Waller starting. You do not need a second tight end there, BZ, if you have Waller. So trade Knox for a different piece, but not a tight end. Daniel, Russ Wilson, and Zeke for Herbert and Jacobs. Half PPR 10 team. I know you hate Zeke. I know you said you want to move on from Jacobs, Kev. But here, are you just taking the best player in Herbert?
I think I would stick with Russell Wilson and Zeke.
Okay. I think I would just take the Herbert side just for the QB. Now, I answered this one while you were gone, Kev, but to get your quick thoughts here, CEH and Patty for Akers or ETN and CPAT, or CEH and Patty for Hall and Pollard.
Oh, I'm doing for Hall and Pollard.
Okay, that's what I ended up saying. Jacob Vaughn, Olave, Elijah Moore, Dobbs, and DJ Moore. We need 2.5 PPR.
DJ Moore and Olave.
Sure. Rank these quarterbacks, please, for Alejandro. Tua, Wentz, Goff, Brady, rest of season. Tua, Brady, Goff, and Wentz.
So it would be Tua, Brady, Goff, Wentz.
What I just said. I survived this year with Goff as my QB and Jones, Dillon, J.K. Dobbins as running back. Goff, yes, but it's going to depend on the rest of the roster. But if this is what your running backs are looking like, I
would say no.
Think so.
Yeah,
you're going to have Kupp and Jefferson at wide receiver. I mean, Jones and Dillon are just going to cannibalize a spot on your roster. I'm not going to feel great starting both of those, but you're probably going to be starting them over J.K. Dobbins as it is right now. So hit us up in the Discord, Boba Fett. I know you're in there. Let us know if we can help out with some different like trade ideas. 808, Godwin's on waivers, so I drop into these guys to get him. Wilson, Pollard, Samuel, Edmonds, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, you have all these options. You could drop like all of them for Chris Godwin. Like, Chris Godwin, when healthy, is a top 15 wide receiver, and so yes. But if you have to pick one that you're going to put in one for, it would probably be Garrett Wilson or Curtis Samuel. Honestly, and it'd probably be Curtis Samuel. Like, I think with Curtis Samuel, what he's done so far to start the year has been awesome, but I don't think it's sustainable. And so, like, he would be the guy, like, if I had to drop one of these players, it would be him that I would start with to get Chris Godwin, and I wouldn't look back.
Trade Najee and Lennon for J. Robin Pitts.
I mean, you need a tight end, I guess, and the other wide receivers are good, but I'd probably say no. It's mainly just because I love Drake London and Najee and James Robinson. I don't know, you know.
Burks and James Cook are on waivers. Who's a better ad? It's going to be Burks. Cooper, Hollywood, or Kirk in a start two. I think we were split on that one. We both had Hollywood, right? You had Cooper, I had Kirk.
Yeah, I have Cooper and Hollywood.
I have Cook on 2 teams. He playing, like I said, probably I think like 70% chance. Um,
It's possible it could be like last year, um, where like I think he missed a game, and then they brought him in. So it's possible that Dalvin Cook maybe doesn't play this weekend, but it's not anything long term. But I think he
yeah.
plays.
We view Penny as a low end RB2 or worse. I have him, I think like 9, like maybe like 20 this
Yeah,
week.
you're higher on him than me. I would say lower. I have him as like a high end RB3.
Roderick, start 2 flex. Penny and Joku, McKissick, Rondell Moore, Dotson, Burks.
I'm gonna go with Treylon Burks and Rashad Penny.
I'm going to go Penny and Dotson. That was the random half just venting about the inverse waiver. CKK, we definitely missed that. Go ahead and re-ask that. I must have skipped that. Really sorry about that. Do you watch analyze other sports? I mean, Kev tries to talk about NASCAR, but I tune him out very, very quickly. With football taking up as much time as it does for both of us, I like watching hockey once we get to that point, and then I'm trying to get more into basketball. Like I'm trying to find something where I'm not analyzing it and talking about it. Like I want to find something where I can just sit down and just watch it, like not bet on it, not have any, I just want to be able to sit back and just enjoy the sport for what it is. And I think I've made up my mind. I'm going to try and get into NBA this year.
Well, I would love to do that, but I play too much DFS. So, NBA DFS, Major League. I played a ton of Major League Baseball DFS this year. NASCAR, we've already talked about. So, no, those are all. I mean, I pretty much play it all. If I can bet on it, or if I can play DFS on it, I'm going to play. I've done UFC DFS. That's fun. Golf. I've done that before too.
Just as long as it is, as long as it isn't baseball.
But
Baseball
no,
is
we
the
have
boat.
this keeps us very busy, and the goal is to be full time at some point. So I can quit my job and I can do this full time. So
Yeah. Jay Sosa, this is for a 10-team full PPR going on here. Moore, Kirk, Terry, Dobbs, Higbee, Sanders, Jeff Wilson. Who do I start my 1 and 2 wide receiver and 2 flex?
DJ Moore and
It's going to be Kirk and Terry for me at the 2 wide receiver spots.
DJ Moore and Terry for me.
And then we need 2 flex.
I'm gonna go with Miles Sanders and Romeo Dobbs.
I will go Sanders and DJ Moore. Trill TV over on Twitch, Olave or Gibson in the flex.
This is Antonio Gibson.
I'm gonna go Olave. MG3 or Pollard and a half PPR. This is gonna be Pollard for both of us.
I think we skipped this one, didn't we?
Oh well. Well, no, because BZ has Waller. Remember?
Okay. I just want to make sure we weren't missing it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I guess we still could have talked about it. BZ, we're still not trading Knox for another tight end. See if you can get Knox.
You already have
for
Waller. There's zero
Yeah.
reason whatsoever to trade for another tight end, unless it's like tight end premium or something.
Or you're starting 2, I guess maybe. But then in that case, I wouldn't be trading Knox. Tyler, would you trade? Man, a lot of trade questions tonight. Love to see the activity. Trade Hollywood Brown for Breece Hall and Ayuk. I have 0 RB depth.
Yeah, if you could trade Hollywood Brown for Brees and Brandon Ayuk, I'm down for that all day. I would probably trade Hollywood Brown for Brees straight up.
I would not do that. But with
I think
I
so. We are counting down the days, and we're starting entering the time where you're probably going to want to trade because once DeAndre Hopkins comes back, which now after this week he's only going to be 2 weeks away from returning, and that is going to put another weapon into this offense that is going to take targets away from Hollywood Brown. Not to mention the fact that Rondell Moore is still set to come back as well. So I think this room could get a little crowded, and it's not going to be the same for Hollywood Brown. And so if I can get Brees Hall, who I think is ascending, where I think Hollywood Brown could, drop off a little bit, I think that's where it comes in for me. So I definitely make that move.
would not do straight up, but would do it for the 2. Pick 3 here for Terry Mixon, Samuel Jones, Gabe Davis, Sutton, Jamal Williams. Mixon, Jones, Mixon, Jones, and Sutton. Or damn, Jamal Williams sitting there.
I'm going to go Mixon, Jamal Williams, and Sutton.
Yeah, Mixon, Jamal Williams, and Sutton for me as well. CKK just put in a trade for CH and Dotson for Dalvin and Robbie Anderson. Have Curtis Samuel off the bench and other solid receivers is enough to go through. I mean, I don't think you need to ask for Robbie Anderson on the coming back there. I wouldn't give up Cook for CH and Dotson. It's going to depend on how I think that's one of those ones going to depend on where the Dalvin owner is sitting in terms of their record. If they're 0-3, like maybe you catch them panicking, but if they have like a decent record, I don't know that gets it done there. CK. Should I drop Field for Geno Smith in a 2 QB league and defense Chargers, Panthers, or Colts? For the defense side, I'm going to go Chargers there. I know they had they should have had a good matchup last week. They did not. Still, even with Bosa hitting IR, I still like that Chargers defense. So I'm going to go Chargers there. And then I think you can drop Justin Fields for Geno Smith. Kev, I won't ask you to touch on it. Well, we're gonna move on. Monier, Juju Thielen, Claypool, Edmonds, Eli Moore, or Hunt. Pick one in the flex and a half PPR. Juju for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Conklin versus Njoku. We're both going to be Team Njoku on this one. Satan. Can I survive this year with Stafford and Mariota, Chase, Jefferson, Kupp in a 2 QB? How in the hell do you end up with Chase, Jefferson, and Kupp? Like, even in a super flex league, like this has to be a small league, right?
I would think. I don't know how you could get all 3.
Dynasty, maybe. Yeah, I mean, with once obviously Jefferson has had a couple down weeks. Kupp had a little bit of a disappointing week last week, and Chase has been a little up and down as well. But yeah. 808s, appreciate you rocking with us. Hit us with a sub and a like if you are new to the channel. It is very much appreciated. What have I got to change here for Monier? Carr, Chubb, Jones, Sutton, Evans, Goddard, Hunt, Claypool, Juju, Thielen, Walker, Eli Moore, Edmonds. Half PPR 12, man. Not making any changes, I don't think, to that starting lineup. I'm going to keep that as is. Start 2 here for Jacob Pierce, AJ Dillon, McKenzie, Elijah Moore, Jeff Wilson.
Pierce and Jeff Wilson.
Akers, Singletary, Dobbins, Gibson, and Jamal Williams for the 2 RB spots.
I'm really last 2 on this one, Gibson and Jamal Williams.
Yeah. MMA is very, very interesting. I'm not going to fork over the money for pay-per-view, and I'm not going to
If it's like a big fight, like Conor or
I know they have like the 2 hours of fights leading up to it. That's free, but like I'm not gonna watch all that and then not watch.
anytime that like Conor is on, like I'll watch. And but there's some other big fights that I wouldn't mind either. But it does. I don't know. It's not a sport that I follow like heavily. But I guess anything that Connor does that I just because he's the biggest draw in my mind in terms of UFC, at least right now.
I
And
did see that
so
there was a second Mayweather Connor fight set up for like next year or something. They're going to be doing a second one.
just the money. It's all about the money.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
the amount of money that they make off that fight. Yeah.
So CKK, here's for the Justin Jefferson. My team is Russ, Najee, Clyde, Pittman, Davis, Schultz, Kirk, benches, Gordon, Ayuk, Dotson, Keenan Allen, Curtis Samuel, and Albert. Oh, you're gonna have to come correct. So I think it's gonna have to, like, looking at this team's probably gonna have to involve Pittman. I mean, maybe you can get it done with like Davis and Keenan Allen. I mean, you're not going to sniff JJ with the running backs, right? Alberto is not going to matter. Schultz isn't going to matter.
As much as I
Gordon's
would love
not
to
going to
say
matter.
Najee Harris and maybe like a smaller piece, like I think that would. I don't know what the rest of your running backs look like, but I would assume bench is Gordon, Ayuk, Dotson. You don't have the running back depth um, to make that happen.
I mean, Pittman and Kirk.
Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't be going after Justin Jefferson. I'd be going after another running back. Because, like I said, with Najee and CH, like those are
Yeah.
two very volatile names, and you don't have the depth on your bench to make up for that. Like you have a ton of wide receivers, and Albert O you can drop. There's no reason to even have him. So, yeah,
Jacob, I'm scared off DJ Moore.
yes, I'm not.
Juju, Thielen, Claypool, Evans, Eli Moore, Hunt. I think we already got this one right.
Yeah,
Said
yeah, we
Juju.
got that. Yep.
See, Travis, appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through. That's what I'm saying too. Hurts, Eckler, Chubb, Evans, Lockett, Waller, Monty, and then on the bench, Singletary, Ramondre, Dotson, Duvernay, Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith. Who should I trade? Don't trade for Najee. Don't trade for Najee. We're not doing that. Higgins or Kirk for Cole. We're gonna start Higgins there. How does Antonio Gibson for Brees Hall? If you can do it, I would do that. I was a little bit lower on the Brees Hall trade earlier, but if you can flip that, I'm gonna do that. Logan Thomas and Jay Cook for Njoku.
I'm not sure who that James Cook.
Yeah.
Oh, James Cook. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep.
It's fine. Yeah. Not again, Alejandro. Not doing it. Crazy question. Which one, Jefferson, Deontay, or Gabe? That is a crazy question. It's Justin Jefferson, Terry. Put in reverse, Terry. Back it up. what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Brian Robinson? I think that's going to be a complete timeshare. I don't see him taking over. I think it's going to be the biggest hit to Antonio Gibson, but I think it's just going to be an absolute headache. Thomas, I did not hear about that. Was it Bill Belichick? Okay, there it is. Satan keeping all the keep. How did you keep all those keepers though?
Way to go. That is the way to do it in a keeper league. I mean, you have those three wide receivers.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Something tells me there might be some black magic going on here in Satan's league, though. That still seems.
That still has got me dead. That was like it's so perfect. I didn't even think of that. You said it. That's amazing.
Jim Cook droppable in a 10-team full
Yes.
PPR.
Yeah, especially in a 10-team league. Yeah.
Tim King, I mean, I think Robinson could have the chance to be the top back, but like he's not going to be like the guy. Like he could be the guy getting the most touches, but Gibson's still going to mix in. McKissick is still going to mix in as well.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure for like casuals, I think Conor is probably like the draw, just because of like if you're not following the sport. I do know that like there's some other like I do some of the other names in UFC, but like I'm not like hardcore UFC guy, and so I guess whenever Conor's fight something like that, I'm probably gonna be more apt to tune in. So I think for the more mainstream, I think Conor is probably still the biggest draw in UFC, but I'm sure there's much better because I know that he has really fallen off a cliff. But so anyway.
Random half, appreciate you rocking with us. I mean, 1,000 viewers would be awesome, but there's no way we'd get to every single question with 1,000 viewers. So that's like this is cool. I mean, 1,000 viewers would be cool as well, but like we both genuinely like answering every single one of your questions. It has only happened once that we did not get to all of them, and it was actually. Did you see it, Kev?
No.
Last Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday did not get to all the questions on the Sunday Start Sit show.
Yeah.
And then I think you're laughing about last year. I was just like this is 2 years ago, I think. CKK, since you guys said look at running back depth, top options on waivers: Jamal Williams, Madison, Jeff Wilson, McKissick, Hines, McKinnon, and Herbert. CK, I can't remember who we were looking at dropping, but I mean, there's definitely some names here that I'm interested in.
This was the Justin Jefferson one, right? Yeah, we was asking about trading for Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Yeah, and I said that I would be more concerned with your running backs. So actually, I mean, with the looking at what's out there, where's that question at? One more time.
I got it. So on the bench is Gordon, Ayuk, Dotson, Keenan, Samuel, Alberto. So we're obviously dropping Alberto.
Yes, I would drop Alberto, and if he's sitting there, Jamal Williams for right now. I think Jeff Wilson, but even without that, like Jamal Williams is going to have a weekly opportunity in this backfield because even when DeAndre Swift is healthy, he's not going to be like the guy, right? And so for me, it's Jamal Williams, and then
I'm also going to drop Dotson. As much as I like him right now, Curtis Samuel is the one who's getting the most looks on a week-to-week basis. I know Dotson's targets jumped up to like I think 8 last week. But before that, it was like 5 and 4. He was just, getting there on touchdowns. So I think I'm going to drop Dotson as well, and then pick up Jeff Wilson since he probably has the most long-term.
I would agree. Yeah. Yep.
Value there for your team. Carr or Rodgers?
I'm going to go Derek Carr.
I'm going Carr as well. I'm not worried about Rodgers' matchup, Travis. The thing there to worry about is that like he drops back 25 times like he did in the Bears game. That's the thing to worry about there. Who just started PPR? Jesus. Sanders, Wilson, AJ Dillon, Kirk, Hall, Pollard.
I'm going to go with Miles Sanderson, like the Sanderson sisters. No. Nope. You know what that's from?
My house has been decked out in Halloween and fall gear.
This is a bunch of hocus pocus,
I refuse to
Anyways,
acknowledge
we've
it.
gone too far. Okay. But Hocus Pocus
This is what
2
happens.
does come out on Friday. Hocus Pocus 2
Okay,
comes out on
and
Friday.
all right, enough. We need 2.
Yeah, I'm going Sanders and I'm gonna go Sanders and Jeff Wilson.
I'm down with it. Hey, appreciate you, Random Half. That's the goal, right? Just 1% better every day. Loaded team alert here for Terry. Pick 3: Mixon, Eckler, Camara, and Javonte Williams.
Eckler, Camara,
And Mixon.
Javonte.
You're wrong, but it's all right. Ollie, any trades I need to make? Dak and Goff. RBs are JT, Mixon, Conor, Stevenson, Madison, wide receivers, Debo, Deontay, Godwin, Wilson, George, tight ends, Pitts, and Kittle.
If this is a 2-quarterback league, we could drop Goff.
Or
It's still when Dak comes back.
yeah. I mean, I think here I'm trying to trade one of those tight ends and getting another wide receiver. You're obviously fine with JT, Mixon, and Conor. Stevenson could be something long term. Again, maybe look at the Dalvin owner. See if you can
I think you need
package.
wide receivers.
Yeah, that's what I said. See if you can package like Madison and one of those tight ends, or Madison and see if you can sell high on Dortch. Garrett Wilson, even maybe. But wide receivers where I'd be looking there, Ollie. Travis, I think we already answered that one. PPR Hunt or Bateman. I'm going to go Bateman there.
Yeah, I agree.
Robinson, Higgins for Mixon and Deontay. Man.
I'm keeping James Robinson and Higgins.
Yeah. I'm gonna not keeping James Robinson. I'm keeping Higgins. Just want to make sure that's clear. Sick nasty. What wide receiver should I target trading away? CEH and Sutton or CEH and Cooks?
I would trade away CH and Cooks. I think you could get like a CeeDee Lamb.
Coming off the game he just had.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think you could even try to get a little spicy. Maybe try to go get like an AJ Brown. The Cooks part would be tough.
I was going to say you're going to have to throw in Sutton. I don't think you're getting that done with Cooks. Unless you're trading Walito. Should I drop Dotson for Zay Jones? I would.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Najee and Gibson for Eckler. I would do it. I think you can ask for something back.
Yeah, I would ask for something a little bit more. It doesn't have to be I think it depends on the team you're trading with, who they have, but I think I'm asking for another piece back in that because I think you're giving up too much for Najee and Gibson for Eckler. But I do like the thought, and I don't actually hate that, but I would want a little bit more back in return.
For sure. I got offered JT and Kirk for Lamar.
Who do you have at quarterback now? I guess Lamar. Yeah, duh. I guess what would you be doing at quarterback?
Sounds like
Kirk
Cousins.
Oh, okay. You said JT and Kirk. I was thinking Christian Kirk. Yeah. I'm probably making that. Yeah, I'm doing that. I mean, you're getting Jonathan Taylor.
But Lamar has been absolutely cooking this year.
I know, but
JT,
look, but that
JT
is also what it's getting. Look what it's fetching
you. I guess, but I don't.
I mean, let's be
love it.
real. He's not gonna. I think his best year, his MVP season that he had, he averaged 27 fantasy points per game. He's averaging like 34 fantasy points per game right now. He's definitely going to regress. Now, this is going to be some huge regression because if he regresses down to 27 fantasy points per game, that's still excellent, right? But he's going to regress some. But then the fact that you're able to get Jonathan Taylor, I think is nice. I would do that.
Trade JJ and Dillon for Barkley and Hopkins in a non-PPR.
Yeah, I think you could.
What about JJ for Barkley straight up?
Yeah. I mean, in a non PPR, I think it yes.
Oh my god, that is brutal. Random half. Cubanito, tight ends available. Hurts, Njoku, Irv, Ingram, Gesicki, Logan Thomas. Need one for my week 8 bye. Don't pick up another tight end. Wait until that week 8 bye, Cubanito, and then just stream that week. Don't hold on. You know, if this were like a week out, maybe you could look at it if there was someone who was in like in a really juicy matchup the next week, but don't do it this far out. Come and hit us up, week 6, 7, and we'll definitely help you out through there. CKK, you guys are the best. Appreciate all of you rocking with us. 10-team PPR trade, J-Rob and Bateman for Mixon and Deontay.
Didn't you already ask that?
No, remember it was with Higgins before. So it switched out Bateman and Higgins. I would
make that move, yes. I would do that.
Last one of the night, finally did it. Owen, how we doing? We're doing fantastic. Appreciate you rocking with us. Hit us with a sub and a like if you've not yet done so. Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, James Conner to flex. Kev, what you got?
Cortland Sutton.
Boom. There it is. Any other questions? We appreciate all of you guys. Jump into our Discord. You can also leave a comment on any of our other YouTube videos. We'll answer it through there as well. Kev will be going live tomorrow night for the DFS show. I'll be live on Saturday night with my guy Tom talking about some props, and then we'll be right back here on Sunday morning for the Sunday morning show, answering more of your start-sit questions. So thank you guys so much for rocking with us. It's been a blast, and we'll talk to you soon.